know. You never know. Before we get started, I want to address something that's been weighing on my mind all week.
Okay.
This is a special day for us, and you want to know why?
For me and you, or just for you in general? For you and your friends, or for me and you?
More so for me and my friends, but you're a part of it.
Ready? Okay.
This is the 69th episode of You Never Know. Clap from the gallery. I want to thank our fearless staff. I want to thank the doubters that fueled this, because I don't know if we thought we would get here.
Thank the sponsors.
Whatever. Fuck the sponsors. But dog, I don't know, when we started the You Never Know podcast, I think this potentially could be our last one ever. Maybe I'd draw the line here.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's Doug, you know me. You've known me.
You don't like 69, or you just don't like anything more than 69? You like to just stay there?
I draw the line at 69.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Just to this side of you.
Is that in the shot? Yeah. Good luck with the logistics. We're not a logist.
Sorry about that.
We're not a logistics company at all. No, but honestly, there couldn't be a better guest than the satirical Caleb Pressley.
Sorry about that.
Again, one more clap in the gallery. We got Caleb Pressley in the house tonight. So I've known Caleb. How long have this been ranged? Do
you know how we met?
You want to explain it? I don't even. You know, my memory's horse shit.
Well, I'm trying to think too. I'm trying to recall. Mine's probably better than yours.
Yeah, your memory.
My memory's not good, but it's probably better than yours.
It is.
But that's because, well, see, I had some football problems that maybe I had a couple concussions, probably two.
High school.
When was I going to get them in college?
Being the morale supervisor or whatever the fuck you were.
When am I supposed to get them? I would love to have had a concussion in college. No, but and then also some drinking related injuries to my brain. I think my brain's probably 75 or 80%. And people are like, dude, I'm a big fan. I'm like, dude, you would have been such a big fan if I had 100 brain.
If your brain was 100, I don't think you would be who you are. I don't think you'd be where you're at.
That's a question I had today. So we just did a Sunday conversation with Johnny, and I was like, I forgot a lot of my questions.
Johnny Manziel, for the listeners at home.
And one of my questions was going to be, do you think if you never took a sip of alcohol, you'd just be a fucking nerd?
It's a good question. Where is he? Johnny, what's your answer?
I was trying to think how I was going to ask it. So if looking back on your career, if you never took a sip of alcohol, you'd just be a fucking nerd. Yes, sir.
He said without a doubt.
I'm glad we didn't do it though, because cursing, you know.
How did the Sunday
Sponsored by
conversation?
Pepsi, I think.
How did the conversation go today?
Great, phenomenal guest.
Phenomenal,
legendary guest, and we're thankful to him because we had a cancellation.
Who canceled?
I don't want to say because it wasn't cancellation, it was a rescheduling, which I'm not really super confident about, but it would be the biggest guest we've ever had. And that's saying something, and I don't even know. It depends on your perspective. I mean, we had Deion Sanders, like maybe one of the best, maybe the best athlete of all time. Prime time, and he was also phenomenal, so I can't say that this person would have been better than him, but same, in my mind, area. Anyways, but he had to reschedule. I don't think he had to. I think he just
blew you off. Just big league.
Yeah. But anyways, and we kind of went dick in hand, and then
and then you texted me or something, right?
Well, I texted you because we were in LA, and I was like, dude, we're in LA, dick in hand.
And you wanted to do, when you got your dick in your hand, I'm the first guy you think of.
So you got the 69th episode coming up. No, but I was like, "Well, seriously, are you here? Because you used to live there." And then you said, "No, I'm in Scottsdale." But and then you were on we were on FaceTime, and then you're like, "How about this guy?" And I said, "That works."
Yeah, I was. You called me Charmin Soft for leaving LA, which it's debatable, but I quickly rebounded, and I got you. I want to say I was like the liaison to getting Johnny on the Sunday conversation. I felt like I was the manager, like I was the point person.
Yeah, you were, and also you've been a liaison for a lot of things. And I want to say, as we start, have we started yet? Okay.
Yeah, it's a rolling start.
So I want to start the show by saying super grateful that you're having me, because I feel like throughout my time knowing you, you've always been able to like tap people that you've been like, dude, I like this guy. He's going to be good. And then it's always worked out. And I'm not saying I'm at the workout point yet, but I do feel like you've given me some shoulder taps along the way. So I'm thankful because I can list things that you've not saying you called it, but you were like, this guy's super talented, and all of a sudden it's Post Malone. And that really happened. Like I remember being with you in LA and you're like, dude, this guy is really good. Mm-hmm. And he had already had White Iverson, which was awesome, but you were like, he's awesome.
You know, if I've had any, I've had a weird life, but if I've had anything that's been a constant, is that like I could get around people and pretty much get a pretty good understanding of them pretty quick.
How come? What do you attribute that to?
You know, it's just like, why did Johnny have a great arm? You know, like it's just something about the way I'm wired. You know, like I call it feel. Mm-hmm. I have good feel for people, and also just like there's not that I kind of snuck my way into the content world and like being a creator, which wasn't really part of my life growing up, but I you know, even back when I was just an athlete, like I could always tell like who had an aura and who had a little like electricity to them, you know. Mm-hmm. And you were a guy. You were a guy right out of the gate. I remember telling my boy, I was like, this dude's fucking hilarious. And you're kind of just now. I mean, you've had a pretty normal trajectory. Like you've just always had a new thing. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you're not doing something for a while. And then you have a new thing. I remember DMing you recently. I was like, you're fucking killing it.
No, that's why I want to start the show. Like super supportive. And it means something to me because I do feel like you got to feel. So it's like, there are certain people who can reach out to you or they can be supportive. And you're like, whatever. That means something rather than just some, and then you always appreciate any support you get. But so I appreciate that.
It's legit genuine. It's how I felt when I met you, and I think the way I'm wired going forward is like anytime I can like plug people in together. And
so, what are you doing with your hair?
What do you think?
I don't know, dude.
You don't like it?
I don't know. I just don't know. It's not that I don't like it or I do like it. It's like I don't know.
I don't know if I like you as much as I did just a few seconds ago.
No, as far as I did my opening like statement to butter you up. What's going on, dude?
I mean, honestly, you're catching me in mid mullet transformation.
Are you really going mullet?
I mean, do you have eyes? Look at that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the wing.
It looks like you're doing it backwards though.
Yeah, I mean, also
it looks like it's coming down over your eyebrows.
Yeah, I mean, might be a little long in front. Mm-hmm. You could probably go at some point. I might go like Dumb and Dumber Jim Carrey, just straight across the front, nice and short. Mm-hmm. As we get longer in the back, I don't know. I'm spitballing.
If that's your actual plan, I'm 100% behind.
I figured you'd be a actual like gung ho supporter of it.
Mm-hmm. I am. I do, but that's why I had to ask. If I just came in here and I just had my thoughts in my head, like, dude, why does he look like he's in April of quarantine? You know?
I mean, honestly, you're also like, I'm a seasoned beard guy now, so now I'm just dabbling with like, how long do I want to go on the beard?
You ever think about stash?
I don't know if I can do it, and if I'm going to be completely forthcoming about it, I realize that, you know, I've shacked up with a healthy amount of young women. As I get older, they stay the same age. And what I've realized is I had almost a rebirth in the world of random sex when I adopted a beard. Just had a if we're doing field research on it, if you're just looking straight numbers, I know you're a numbers guy. If you're looking at straight numbers, the numbers don't lie. Since I've gone beard, it's been it almost feels like a new shot of energy in that whole world for me. So,
but you've had a beard since I've known you. It's been no
way.
Really?
Yeah, you're misremembering.
Do you have a bad chin? That's a yes. Man. I'm not even trying to. I'm trying to really just get to the bottom of what's going on. I think
I have a say B plus B. Mm-hmm. So maybe more like a B minus chin.
Dude, sometimes you don't even need a good chin though, honestly.
Yeah, good dick on me.
You need a cut or like some type of facial wound.
Yeah, like a scar.
The scar's good.
Or like an active open wound cut you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't. Well, to get to the scar, you need the active wound. Yes, that's true. Or just with a big thing in the middle too. I don't know what it's called.
I have a butt chin.
No, that's actually good. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, she's the butt chin did well for me. But I think overall, my general distaste for my own butt chin had grew.
You don't think it has anything to do with the trajectory of your career in great music?
What do you mean? In what
You
way?
think that the girls are really checking for your beard, or you think that they like the music?
Maybe. I think they like the overall vibe. I mean, look, I've been in LA long enough, and I've been around a lot of guys who are scoring at a high rate, and I wouldn't necessarily, not that I'm necessarily judging guys off looks. I feel like I have good feel on it though.
Dude, without sounding like misogynist, what is the high rate for the top LA guy? And again, let me reiterate, without sounding like we're being misogynistic, but what for the top tier? We didn't have to name names. I'm just talking about that you look up to these guys. You're like, how do they find the time?
So is your question, how many girls are they having sex with?
It was open ended.
Look, let's put it this way. I've been around guys who had sex after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it almost felt. At one point, I started to feel bad for them because it was just a necessity for them to. It was like they've been on a road trip and they just have to stop every 6 hours to fill up.
Yeah, that sounds bad overall.
Yeah, and you know what? I used to have a very, very, very high kill rate in regards to if I was stepping out and touching soil, if I was going outside, I was more or less going for a kill every night, maybe multiple. And I've graduated from that. And I'm proud to say that. I don't think I've ever
There's a
said that.
reason, I think, why you graduate, because it's like, it's a next level, better level,
This place is like Grand Central Station.
Dana Beers just walked in. Holy
Dana
shit.
Beers in this bitch. Dana, how do you feel about, I don't mean to taunt this, but how do you feel about seeing that, looking it square in the eye, that Bellina cup? What, to more, you lost to
Here,
more.
we have a Mike, Dana.
Come, hop in real quick. You, so who'd you lose to? You lost to Morgan Wallen and a guy named Hardy, I believe, correct?
We did, but we won like twice.
We got to put some respect on Hardy's name. Why you say it like that?
Because I'll clarify. I'm not going to take full credit for it, but I put Hardy in the. I feel like I've had multiple people hit me and be like,
Did
"Yo,
you tap Hardy?
I'd be like, "Oh, I tapped Hardy early." Not even going to take credit. I'm just going to say to my crowd and to the people who were tuned into the Bellina Cup, they didn't really know who Hardy was yet. Did you guys know who Hardy was?
I had heard a song, but that I didn't really know. I didn't know it was by him, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Hardy was, and I met him in Nashville, and I don't think he even remembers this probably, but with Barstool had like a golf outing, and Aura guy.
Big Aura guy.
Aura guy, yeah.
One of the better pens in the game, period. Just he's been a guy who like, and I got introduced to him fairly recently, but I was told like straight out of the gate, like, yo, this dude's got the pen game that's just crazy. Like he can write songs that just will fucking blow your mind. And I think I don't want to speak out of turn, but I want to say that he really didn't even really want to be an artist. He's just like, writes big songs for artists, and it kind of got pushed into it because he's just so dope. They're like, yo, you just got to put out your own songs.
That happened to, who was that? She was an artist, and she was singing on she was writing all the top EDM songs, and she got pushed into it, and now she's huge. I'm trying to think of her name.
It's a fairly common thing.
Oh, she did a lot of stuff with Chainsmokers. She did stuff with Lost Kings. Anyways, but same thing. It's like some of these writers, and then you hear the top line on the, it's called, like the version that the artist gets sent, and then just has like the thing that they're supposed to fill. I'm like, Emily Warren, I think her name is.
Okay.
You can't. It's like it's way better with her.
Yeah.
And that's probably the same thing with Hardy.
It happens a lot, honestly. There's a lot of super talented songwriters that just their vibe is just so dope. But there's a big thing in show business and in music where like they'll look at you on paper tangibly and be like, not a star. He's not like, it's really more about like how it's a business. So they're looking at it like who's the best influencer to like be the face of this music and then have it be so believable and so likable that the masses will catch on and get behind them and be fans of them.
You like that? You think that's good?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't seem good.
It's not really like for the sake of music, it's negative. But I also understand where they're coming from. They're putting millions of dollars behind people that they want to be like, hey, this guy's a star. You put this guy in a room, you put him on stage, you put him in a room full of girls. The girls want to fuck him, the guys want to be him. And that's like a big thing. Someone told me really early. It was just like, you're a star if the girls want to fuck you and the guys would like to be you, or at least have a beer with you, you know? And not to say, well, Hardy's just proven, you know, Hardy became an artist because, like, I think enough people got around and were like, yo, he can be, you know? So that's
He's a ringer, too.
Yeah, he was.
I'm going to put that game on him. I'm going to say, Morgan Wallen, you got to work on your game, pal. Hardy can play.
Honestly, with the lockdown coming, maybe we have to run it back. I mean,
so.
We're already balls deep.
We
kind
need
of in the
redemption
lockdown.
because I was.
So you feel like you were shunned out of a win that you should have had?
No, I'm just joking. But we did win twice in overtime, and then they got rebuttals. So it's just felt like we won. We were right there.
Dude, what happened with the
Barstool one? Oh,
yeah,
it was a disaster.
I was actually going to cut myself off.
No, it was a disaster.
Okay.
Life lesson in that, because it was I was the commish of the Bellina Cup, and I think it was overlooked. think it was overlooked as how well.
It's not easy, dude. I still get shit.
John, you didn't give me any credit?
Okay, to be fair, though.
Yeah. This is my prized possession. I bring this thing everywhere.
It's fucking beautiful. It's beautiful.
But it is beautiful. She's a dandy. She was creatively designed by me and Posty. The story behind it, you guys probably don't know. He had like a few shows in LA, back-to-back nights. I'd say we played about 75 to 80 games in a span of 48 hours. No bullshit. We didn't stop. Only time we stopped is when we went on stage. And we came back and we just played and played and played. And his tour had ended in LA that night. So, obviously we played a ton that night. We ended up leaving the venue, going to his house in the hills where he had rented, played a fucking zillion games there. Left, went to Hooters at 8 a.m., called him. Me. I guess I am a logistics guy.
Dude, I saw a video of this online.
Yeah, probably. You saw the tail end of the bender though, like right when we.
You guys were on a bender.
I was like,
dude,
I could barely open my eyes.
Hey man, are you okay?
Yeah, people were worried about me after the video.
Yeah, I was.
You were?
No.
Good.
So I know you. I know you're resilient.
Yeah, I'm resilient.
You have a heart
it's a
of
resilient
lion.
bunch we got. But yeah, at one point I turned to him. We're at Hooters. So not to cut the story short, because I think this is funny. We go to Hooters. I call Hooters. It's not open. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, it's a few hours before they open. Mm-hmm. And I get the guy on the phone.
You're saying Hooters is not open at 8 a.m.?
No. I mean, no one's eating wings and drinking cold beers at 8 a.m.
That's not an American.
Not even in Hollywood, man. Not even in Hollywood.
I would do that.
Yo, can you pass me that spitter? Right?
Did you check the hours at Twin Peaks?
No, I didn't. I should have. But we're like Hooters guys. We go to we do things weird like that. We'd go to Olive Garden and go to Applebee's and wherever.
I heard Olive Garden's the best restaurant in Cleveland.
Probably is. Probably is. Johnny could probably attest to that.
No, he's the one who told me.
He did?
Yeah.
I get the guy on the phone. He's like, dude, we open at 11. And I was like, look, this is gonna sound like a lie. Mm-hmm. But I got Post Malone here, wants to come in and play beer pong. Not sure why he wants to. We had a house. We had like a beautiful house over the hill. He'd had a beautiful house up in the hills. Amazing. We were playing there most of the night. But we want to go touch some Hooters soil. Mm. So the guy takes a long pause and he's like, all right, I'll meet you there in 30. So we go. We find our way over. We wander over to Hollywood Boulevard. It's right on Hollywood Boulevard.
What do you think the best part of Hooters is? The boobs?
Are you getting in interviewer mode right now?
I'm just wondering.
That was interviewer Caleb.
I can't take him seriously anymore. I've known him for a long time.
That was your interviewer tone.
Hands up. Was that a dumb question?
No.
Why do you guys go?
What'd you say? Yeah. No, I can't even. He just has this. You have this resting face where it's just like.
Is it the boobs or is it the?
I mean, what do you go for? Yeah, I mean, I love the management side of Hooters, but no, I would say the boobs, but also there's just a certain ambiance to how girls, you can go to Hooters.
Balls, come over here.
When you go to Hooters and there's just such a friendly vibe. Mm-hmm. It's a friendly vibe. It could be 20 guys at a table. They'll sit down. They'll enjoy your company.
So balls is not to throw off your angles, John.
It's all good,
dude. We're talking about Hooters.
We're talking about boobs.
We're talking about boobs.
We're talking boobs.
Yeah,
I like talking boobs.
Thoughts?
I like them. Yeah.
Do you guys think that boobs look how they sound? Boobs. Wait, what?
FWAP? I don't.
Dude, I didn't say if you're slapping them. I'm just talking about general aesthetics.
So are you asking if you were to just look at them objectively?
Do you think that boobs look how they sound? Boobs.
No.
What was the one you asked Walk Flock? Are butt cheeks the boobs of the back?
And that's a good question. Are butt cheeks the boobs of the back?
That is a good question. Are they?
We're getting into fucking Caleb mode.
Probably. Dude,
I'm sorry for being a guest on the podcast, dude.
This is what I was
Going
expecting,
into
to be
Caleb
honest.
mode.
But yeah, I would say, honestly, that it has to be the favorite part is the boobs. But I like the wings. Mm-hmm. Regardless, they opened up for us.
I think it's something about, can I say why I think?
Yeah,
I think it's something about, it's just about everyone knowing why the other person's there. You know?
It's a communal.
If you work at O'Charlie's, you're like, you might be here because this was on, it was just the closest restaurant. You might be here because your family loves O'Charlie's. They can only afford O'Charlie's or this, whatever.
Right.
There's a lot of reasons you could be at O'Charlie's. At Hooters, the girls know you're there for the boobs.
Yeah.
And then the girls are there because they like you looking at their boobs.
Yeah, or that they like monetizing their boobs.
They're into the whole relationship, and I think that's what makes it. Everyone just understands each other. It's full transparency, which I think is we talk about life lessons. You said this is what the podcast is about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the first one.
We'll throw a curveball for you though. Wasn't one woman there?
And so that's
wasn't it 8 a.m. on
staff wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So then why?
Didn't stop. Didn't. No one blinked an eye at it.
So then why did he pick Hooters if there was no?
Post Malone in a nutshell for you. Just likes the ambiance of being there.
Yeah.
It was it's like a shithole version too. We were up like at the top floor of it. It was like 2 floors. And then TMZ caught word we were there. So we'd go
See, that's the video I saw, the concerning video.
Yeah, they caught word we were there, and then they just waited outside. And then we'd go out there and just like with our beers just post his bullshit. And he doesn't really like doing interviews and shit, but if he's at Hooters, he'll have a chat.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if you were awake or sleeping.
Barely, we
Somewhere
didn't have many extracurriculars. Like I was hanging on. Once you drink beers, there was something that was there was the birth of something, an idea that I think has some legs.
You're a good idea guy, and I also, full seriousness, I think you're a good idea guy.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much.
Go ahead. I don't want to co-sign the idea before you say it. But
Good idea was birthed that night. We had drank so many beers that we were very, very dehydrated. It was a long run. We had a long 2-day run. I mean, Post drinks beers every day, so he was fine. But it's called God's Water, and I know this might ruffle some feathers, but beer on ice, God's Water, and the only reason
my feathers are ruffled.
Yeah, and the only reason, I get it. I'm thinking about having God's Water right now.
Okay.
God's Water only because you can get drunk and also hydrate yourself.
So it's basically like so I was just in California and they're selling basically like seltzer waters, but it's just weed in them. So are you trying to, what is it sort of like that?
No, I'm just talking, if you think about the ice, right? The ice is going to melt. So you're getting a little bit of, you might water down, you could argue that you water down the beer a bit, but when you're drinking on ice, it just like gives you a refreshing vibe, especially when you're like 40 beers in. Like when you're, Dana, I'm sure you can relate to this. Once you get past the teens and you're entering the 20s of beers, it's tasting like water anyway.
And you're starting to feel fat.
And you're starting to like,
the belly's just fucking out.
Yeah, your body doesn't know what's going on. It's starting to reject it.
Yeah.
So God's Water happened that night for us, and me and Posty loved it.
How does this turn into the Bellina Cup?
Well,
Hooters trip.
I don't think I co-sign that idea. I don't think that's a good idea at all, man.
Okay.
Well, can I say something? And this is, can I tell a personal story that relates?
Yeah.
So, and this is kind of weird to tell in front of you guys.
Can someone pour me a God's Water, actually?
I want to try a God's Water.
What's up, man? People just sneaking in here left and right.
Is that Max Homa?
What's up, man? How are you? Of
Max?
course, man.
Dude, come over here, dude.
We're just interchanging guests left.
Can you come for one moment?
Yeah,
I got to tell the story.
You don't have to take the dip out.
Hey, my last thing, Bellina Cup Part 2. Please hold me a spot.
Oh, you're in.
Please.
You're in.
I want a new partner. Marty
Wait, so
stinks.
before he comes on here, he probably doesn't want to stay on here for long because I don't think he wants to be on the podcast, but he wants to be on the podcast, maybe not in this exact
setting.
environment. Yeah, and you're about to find out why. I told him, I've never met Max, but I'm about to meet him.
Max, nice to meet you, man.
But
Mike.
Max is a legendary PGA. What's up, dog? We just met for the first time. That was our first meeting.
That was it?
It was awesome.
You think it went good?
That was really
Okay.
That was really nice.
So he's on the PGA Tour. I'm trying to go on the PGA Tour, right? I'm giving myself a long timetable, and he's been on Part of My Take, which is a Barstool thing, which I work at Barstool, and so I knew of him. I followed him on Twitter, and he's funny on Twitter. I was like, this guy seems like a good guy. So I sent him a DM. I said, I would like to meet, like somehow we should link up. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I live in Scottsdale. And I was like, well, I'm probably never going to go. I was thinking that in my mind. I was like, I'm probably never going to be out there. But I was like, all right, if I'm ever out there, I'll hit you up. That was last week. Because I travel a lot for work, but I was already in Scottsdale earlier this year, right? So I was like, I'm probably not going to be going there for at least a year. Well, look at us. We're here right now. So I hit him up, and I was like, hey, dude, you trying to hang? And then he was like, sure. I was like, well, too bad. I don't really have any time, you know? I'm pretty much booked.
That's exactly how it went.
I was like, dude, but it would be actually funny. I'm about to do Mike's podcast. We should go as golf guys, and we just do an interview in tandem. And that's, am I lying?
No, and this is a big golf podcast, so I figured
they have a big golf audience.
Yeah,
huge
golf audience. Yeah.
And so I said, we'll show up, and then we'll do the interview in tandem. And he was like, this is probably not the best idea ever, but I'll come back.
Well,
it's a great idea, just probably not for Mike.
No, it's all good. So you're funny on Twitter?
And in real life at times.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. I feel like most golf, I don't even want to generalize it. But most golfers, I feel like most golfers aren't really letting it fly. Like it's a very buttoned up, like a buttoned up sport where it's a gentleman's game.
It is a classy game.
And that's what I like about it. So let's not disparage. I like the fact that people shaking hands.
Yeah. We call beer pong, that's like a running joke with us. It's a gentleman's game as well.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, obviously Johnny's here. Johnny is shined some light on the golf world and how one, it's an amazing like leisure sport as well. Like something I need to get into and I never did.
Dude, you should get it. It's so amazing. Dude.
Everyone says that.
Oh my God.
Everyone says that.
It gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
I mean, you could drink a bunch of Bud Lights while you play.
Exactly.
That's the best part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got to show you this thing. Now, you're a professional. That's actually your livelihood, so maybe you shouldn't be doing chug buds out there. But
I know.
Have you seen those things?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard
No,
to
but
miss.
technically, if you're a professional, aren't you you basically have no boss, right?
Yeah, I am like a CEO. Not a Fortune 500 company, but whatever's after that.
You have an
500 plus.
LLC. Be your own
I got an
boss.
LLC. 500 plus.
When you're your own boss, you can do a chug bud.
So are you a professional, your own boss
Not yet.
now? I mean,
Well-
you're well on your way.
No, he's not. Let me answer your question. He's not.
So it's complicated, actually. Because
don't
you guys
know
are laughing, but don't laugh yet. Because once I said I wanted to go pro and I made 51 strokes, which is my handicap, we're going to get that down. You're going to help me. Well, then I started a podcast. We started selling some merch.
Yeah.
Started making some money. What makes you professional?
Making money.
Literally making money.
So am I already a pro golfer?
Yeah.
Not
Hell
yet.
yeah.
Not, but that's not what I meant. You know what I'm saying? That's a technicality. I don't want to get him on a technicality.
Now, let's go deeper into this. Is that really your money, or is it Barstool's money that you're getting a cut of?
Barstool pays me every 2 weeks out of that money. I mean, I got to make them money somehow. You know what I'm saying? I got to do my part.
Yeah, but a little wrinkle for you, because you don't want to do it on technicality. Tony Romo is not a professional golfer, but he gets paid by Skechers to do their commercials.
But are they doing golf commercials?
Oh yeah.
Do they make golf shoes?
Is
Sadly.
Skechers in the golf space?
Does he roll to
We're
the
not
next
proud
hole?
of it. No one's proud of it, but they are in the golf space.
Where are you from?
LA.
Really? Like where in LA?
Valencia, Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
That's my exit.
Hell yeah. I just you're looking at a guy who just upended, just left.
So are you here?
No, we're here for another like 4 or 5 weeks. We've been here for like 6 weeks. And then honestly, man, we're headed to Nashville, but we waiting for the right house, and then also like just being the guy I am and kind of where I've gone and the shit I'm into, I kind of wanted to just go with the wind a little bit.
I knew you were about to say some bullshit.
Go fuck yourself.
No, I love that. No, and I respect that. But I just knew you were about, I could tell your face you're about to say some bullshit. But
It's not bullshit though.
We should all go play golf tomorrow.
I mean, I'm terrible.
Dude, what?
You're terrible too.
I'm a 51 handicap.
At what time?
We have a tee time.
Yeah, there's
tomorrow
no way
morning.
I'm making a 7:30.
Where at? Where at?
We're playing at our hotel. What's our hotel called?
Oh, the par 3
Mount
course.
Shadows, par 3.
The place is sick.
And my first time I ever played was at a par 3 because it's basically, if you know anything about golf, that's the easiest one to play.
Okay. I mean, I'll go join you and shotgun some chug bud some beers, I guess. If we end up going out and touching some old town soil tonight and we're gonna stay up, I'll be there. If not, I don't think I'm gonna wake up for it.
All right.
It's just, we'll see.
You only.
So did you move to Scottsdale because just this is like a great golf community?
Yeah. Me and Johnny and I were just talking about it, but like California has like pretty courses, not functional to like get better at golf.
Really?
Yeah, just because like land is incredibly expensive, which is also why I moved here because it's expensive.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I came out here, there's a ton of pros that live out here, so it's better. We're trying to get this guy out here to join in on the pro ranks. John Rahm, but he's the best.
I like him.
player.
I like watching him.
Ches Reavie, Pat Perez. You gotta love Pat Perez.
Yeah.
Pat Perez is like the Post Malone of golf.
Is he?
No one is cooler or crazier. Like you want to hang out with Pat Perez. Mm-hmm. Dude, there's a lot.
I feel like you
Ricky
could argue
Fowler's
John
caddy.
Daly is that guy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he may have surpassed that. I don't know who
Pat
like
Perez?
No. I mean John Daly. Like he might have passed like
Yeah, he's
the
like
post
he's super legendary.
He's like
Oh yeah.
rafters, you know.
Yeah, I mean people who don't even like
Hall of
know
Fame.
golf or know him. Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know much about golf, really.
Me neither,
So
dude. And that's why I didn't. So I was gonna not to cut you off.
No, please.
Like,
I cut you off. So
I want to have him on my podcast, 51 Strokes. It's a golf podcast, but I was like, I don't know what to ask him. I don't know nothing about golf.
if you want, like, I'll ask you questions on your podcast.
Like, dude, I don't
about
even know any golf questions.
Speaking of your Hooters story that I was eavesdropping on, John Daly at the Masters every year hangs out at the Hooters right down the street from the golf course.
He does.
And and he has his truck and he signs merch and like sells it.
Wait, so he just posts up in the Hooters parking lot? And
posts up. So like I got to play the Masters for the first time in my life like 3 weeks ago or whatever.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. And we, I didn't make the cut, but it was all good. It was fun. So we were like driving down the street and it's like the nicest golf course in the world, right? Like you get it. You're a big golf guy.
Of course.
And
huge golf guy.
but it like comes off a
Georgia.
very like average road, just a ton of stuff. And then out pops this Hooters. And I'm like, in my head, this is where John Daly, like the legend on it, John Daly hangs out. But because of COVID, no John, no crowd. And I felt really let down. Like of all the things of the Masters, like no fans, no like, no roars. It was like, I wanted to see John posted.
Listen to this. One time I was in, this is right when I started at Barstool. And we haven't talked about it. And I'm assuming a lot of your audience probably knows Barstool, but
Oh, for sure.
it's just basically a shit show. And if you get hired, like they don't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
It's a true, honestly, it's like a weird version of entrepreneurship because it's like no one tells you what to do and no one tells you what not to do. It's just like you just go.
Yeah.
But one of the ideas I had in retrospect was not a good idea. It wasn't funny. I mean, it was like nothing bad happened.
How
It
you
just
feel
wasn't
about
funny.
God's water?
Yeah.
Similar to that.
Right. But it was,
Thank you, sir.
I was like, I had heard rumors that John Gruden hung out at a Hooters in Tampa, Florida.
He strikes me as a big Hooters guy.
But I heard that he like really hung out there. Like he was that. Like if you want to talk to John Gruden,
Go to
all
Hooters.
you gotta do is show up at Hooters around 5:00 in Tampa, Florida. And it's their headquarters. I think it's their first ever Hooters that they ever had.
That makes sense. Tampa should be the birthplace of Hooters.
Right.
We love Tampa. You're talking to a big Tampa group.
So I was like, okay, this is gonna be funny. And actually, it might have been. I don't know. But I was like, I'm gonna go to Tampa, and I'm just gonna sit in Hooters until I meet John Gruden.
Yeah.
And that was my whole idea.
I actually think that's a good idea.
Did you meet him?
So listen, I go to Tampa. I find the headquarters. I go in there, order some chicken wings. I talked to the waitress. Said, "Does John Gruden ever come by here?" And she didn't know who it was. So she's like, "Let me go ask someone else." So turns out that he did come by there pretty often. But I ended up talking to a manager, and she was like, "Well, actually, he films his TV show because at the time he was doing the ESPN quarterback camp.
Sit down with the quarterbacks.
And you might have been on it at this place. All right, so.
Were you on it?
But was it in Tampa when you went on it? Okay, so Johnny can attest to this. So he actually films over here his show in our headquarters. I said, what do you mean your headquarters? They're like, well, this is the first ever Hooters, but our Hooters headquarters corporate office is across the street in that parking lot over there. His TV show films in the corporate office.
Of course.
In the Hooters. So I was like, no way. So I go over there, and I was like, I just walked in the Hooters headquarters, like, hey, I'm here to see John Gruden. And they said, do you have an appointment? So it's true. And I was like, no, I didn't have an appointment, but I play football at North Carolina, and I play quarterback, so like I knew a bunch of people who knew him. So I just like give him some names so I could kind of get through the door. Like, okay, well, he's actually not here right now, but if you want to come back tomorrow at this time, he'll be here.
Right.
So I go back the next day. And he was not there, but his assistant was. His assistant gave me a full tour of his office. So his entire setup, when you see, and I think it has changed, it's obviously changed now because he's with the Raiders, but I think it had even changed after the fact. But at the time, his whole like film room, everything that he was doing, his TV show, everything was filmed inside of Hooters headquarters. And then to top it off, when they're giving, and this is full circle, when they're giving me the tour, they're like, this room, which was it was a bookcase like on Harry Potter or like Chamber of Secrets. What's the other one? Lion, Witch in the Wardrobe, something out of that. There's a bookcase. You push it open, it's a whole nother room. John Daly has a room in John Gruden's studio inside Hooters headquarters, and inside John Daly's room is like a perfect putting mat or whatever.
Of course.
And then just a freaking place to sleep on the floor and a mattress
and a fridge full of
beers.
beers.
That's it. And they said he parks his RV out there, I guess.
Yeah, that's his thing.
And then whenever he wants to come in and sleep, he sleeps in the office.
Is he an RV guy?
RV guy, like has a driver, or at least back in the day has a driver. He used to, I don't know if he still does, but he used to just get ripped. They would drive to the next city. And I mean, it's perfect for John Daly. It's a perfect move. I mean, safer.
Before Caleb made fun of me for it, talking about going with the wind, just going, that's because I've been.
So I'm not making fun of the idea. I'm making fun of the eyebrows thing you did.
What'd I do?
Like,
You had a little mini smirk as you were like about to say the wind comment.
But being deprived of touring, like we can't really tour right now. It was actually a conversation I want to say we had earlier. I went on a little walk. Make fun of that too. I went on a walk earlier with the guys, just talking about life and what we wanted to do next. Because really, genuinely, like we don't really have a plan. Like I'm looking at houses in Nashville. We're gonna land there, but not exactly sure when. I'm leaning towards potentially going RV for a little bit and just being John Daly of the rap game.
I've lived in an RV for 6 months.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on this. You're one of the rare guests. Being that I'm a musician, you would think maybe otherwise. But I haven't had many people that can relate to living on a tour bus for a while with a bunch of guys.
Dude, there's nothing better than being with the guys. I don't care where it's at.
It is. Put that on a t-shirt. That's a fact. I've spent an alarming amount of my life with the guys.
Is golf a guy's game? I know it's a gentleman's game, but is it a guy's game?
I just don't think it is.
So we got to change that.
On the outskirts, like in like the thick of it, like where I like it, it's a guy's game. Because like I said, we go to Mountain Shadows, let's say. 36 beers, it's flowing, you're having fun, you're one of the guys. You go to a tournament, it's like a little more frowned upon.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's also you draw a line when it's, I think it's a guy's game until you talk about going professional. You know what I mean? Think about it. Most guys that go play golf, like they're going to get hammered and have a good time and like literally get away from their wives, get away from their lives.
Nice. You are a musician, man.
Sorry.
The hype is real.
Poetry in motion, guys. No, but you know what I mean? Like in that regard, you could argue it's a guy's game. But
like NBA, NFL is like a guy's game. I feel like MLB is like a guy's game. Golf misses.
That's
Maybe
true.
it's individual.
True, but all the NFL fans aren't going and playing pickup football out. Like golf is a game where you can anyone can go play with the guys.
But he's right though in the sense that like NBA guys, well, those are team games. That's the difference.
I think it's the people are too selfish, which makes sense if you're doing it professionally because you probably should be a little selfish. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I'm in the camp that if me and you play in a tournament and I you beat me. Like, I'm not going to mope around. Like, you did it. Like, you did a good job. We shake hands. Like, I'm proud of you. I want to get better is fuel the fire or whatever. But, like, I don't know. That's where I feel like it's like, one of the guys. And then you got some people who I feel like there's feelings, you know, which I get. But, like, you should just want to beat the dude at his best. Like, that's your goal, right?
So there's not a ton of camaraderie amongst pro golfers?
It's like cliquey, I feel like, which makes sense because, like, you know, you're traveling alone. You have your boys you stay with or play with, like practice rounds and whatnot.
Right.
But it is definitely, when you first year or so, which I'm sure is in anything, but it's a bit intimidating because, I mean, you're playing, I mean, shit, I remember my first time seeing Tiger Woods, and it's like, do I introduce myself, Mr. President?
Yeah.
So you don't know what to do, and you see all these guys, and then as you like get integrated, and I feel like part of it's results based. Like people start to hear about your name maybe, and they're more willing to be like, you know, you're not just that kid anymore, that dude anymore. But it's definitely not like, doesn't run that deep because my most fun, speaking of like a tour bus tour style, is the tour below the PGA Tour web.com tour when I was there. Nobody has enough money to like travel with their family 24/7. So that's when it's like, I feel like that's with the guys. There's definitely some people who are a little different, but that's when every Sunday night after the tournament, like go out and get beers with whoever, anybody. Now it's like, hey, you want to go hang out? It's like, oh, you know, my wife's here, my girlfriend's here, my family's here. So it's like, I get it, but you lose. It was more fun before, oddly enough.
That's how it always is.
Yeah.
As you get higher in the ranks in anything, and more serious, and the more money on the line, and the more fucking, you know, the accolades and the attention. It just, you know, it's like it's just how it is. Even in music, like the more I've had a very rare approach to music. I've never, at least business wise, I've never done a record deal. Difficult to do it the way we've done it, but like, dude, I don't even know if I'd be doing music if I did it the traditional way. Like my buddies who I live in the house with and been with for fucking 8 years now or however long, we'd run it all ourselves, and like that's what's made it dope. Because like I was a baseball player. I wanted to get in this with Caleb because he can relate and in this regard is like when you play a team sport and then, you know, I feel like that's one of the harder parts about like when your career ends. Like, yeah, the game you love, right? You can't play anymore. But the bigger part is like losing the camaraderie of like being on a team. And like, I think most people would say that about a lot of sports. Like you kind of have to understand, either let that go or like try to fill that void in another way. For me, it was just what organically happened. Like I needed to fill that void, and like it happened organically, so it wasn't even really a strategy to it. It's just like, oh, well, I need a guy who can help do videos. I need a guy who can help me produce music. I need a guy who's gonna cook and clean and help us stay afloat, you know, as humans. And then you cultivate this group that's like a team, you know. So I've turned being a musician into a guy's sport. I mean, you could argue that like people have their entourages, but I don't think they've done it like in the way we've done it, where it's just like same group of five guys, you know, that have been kind of all pulling the rope the same way. And for me, it's like what's made this shit fun. As much as I love making music, you know, it's fun. There's a lot of upside to it, but I don't know if I would be like thoroughly enjoying it as much still if I didn't have the gang and like have that team vibe, you know. I was going to bring this up to you. Obviously, for those listening who don't know, Caleb, you were a great high school football player. You got a scholarship to play quarterback at UNC.
Dude,
Is
I
it
feel like
debatable?
I just feel like the way you're presenting it is you make it sound like I was bad in college. Dude, my coaches were idiots. Dude. Blake Anderson, I love these guys. Blake Anderson, Larry Fedora, love them to death. Talk to them to today. So they know that they got fired for not winning. And why do you think you didn't win? Put 16 in.
Because they didn't use their weapon?
I just didn't want you to set up the whole thing like I was not good.
Well, I would argue you weren't that good.
Damn. Dude,
how many completed passes did you have at UNC?
Dude, know what you need to get involved in? I can't say.
As
I'm gonna tell you something off the camera that
as a completely unbiased third party in this, I had no idea you were athletic until this golf journey. So
yeah, that's okay.
I'm not sure it was the
we just
coaches.
met today, so why would he?
Even
know,
though you haven't really, like we talked earlier off screen, like you haven't really even played golf yet.
No, I haven't played golf, and right now I'm not very athletic. But here's the thing, dude.
Me either.
Whenever I was going for it, I was going for it hard. You know.
And another weird alignment we have, or you could argue it is the opposite of an alignment.
Cannon for right arms.
Yeah, cannon for right arms. Cannon for right arm. Also, North Carolina, man. We shared. You know, I went to Duke. Obviously, you went to UNC.
Oh, dude.
So maybe we should hate each other. Maybe we shouldn't. But
no. Well, did you ride the mechanical bull at Shooters?
It's a fucking bear shit in the woods, my guy. Everyone in my group has rode the mechanical bullet shooters. I made sure. One of the first things I told these guys when we were going to tour North Carolina, I was like, we're going to the greatest college bar of all time called Shooters.
The best bar at Chapel Hill is Shooters, which is at Duke.
There you go. Another point I wanted to bring up.
Wait, hold up. I'm going to get roasted for saying that. The best.
But you mean it.
All-inclusive experience. You got to take the bus.
Yeah.
You know, it's a special time.
All inclusive.
You meant it. You meant it though. It's one of those magical places where you go in and then you leave, and then the next day you don't even realize or remember what happened, but you know it was good. That's Shooters.
Yeah, I just remember because Shooters was like a special thing. It's like you go to your places at Chapel Hill, but the problem at Chapel Hill, all the top places would get shut down because the reason you're the top place is the reason you're getting shut down.
Yeah,
you know,
because they're letting the underagers in.
And that's the game.
I would go to a place called He's Not Here. I know you know He's Not.
He's Not Here is great. My favorite was Pantana Bob's, but
yep, been there.
But we had a lot of places. But yeah, I mean, I love Shooters.
I would argue we because you know playing baseball, you have a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. So your game, you're playing on Friday, you're playing on Saturday, and then Sunday you're playing in the early afternoon. So after the series, you know, wraps up. We would fucking put our drinking caps on and head on down to Chapel Hill because we didn't really have like a Sunday night spot at Duke.
What was the Sunday night spots?
At Duke or
at Chapel Hill?
He's Not.
Yeah,
we would go down there, it's a karaoke bar, a little hole in the wall shithole bar, which is one of my favorites. You know, my favorite type of bar. But we would go down there and absolutely just ransack that place. We'd go in, the entire team would go. And
they always suck when Duke people came over, but not because but just be honest. It's like, all right, like we're the big dicks around here. Like, look at us.
What do you mean?
No, that's what we were trying to do. Yeah. And then you guys come over. You're like fresh guys. It's like none of the girls know you guys. You still got that original appeal.
Yeah.
It's like, God, man. I was at Shooters the night after Duke won the national championship in 2000 and. What basketball championship? Was it 16, 14, 15?
You're asking the wrong guy.
So
I can't remember what I did last week. So I have no fucking idea.
So you support Carolina basketball?
No.
So who do you support?
I mean, of course, Duke.
So you don't remember when they won the national championship?
I'm not. As much as you might think.
I mean, you don't have to be a big fan, watch every game, but you don't know when they won the national championship?
Do you want me to give you honest answers? Or you're going to judge me for my honesty?
I got to pee real fast.
We could take a pee break. Should we? Yeah, go fuck yourself, Caleb. No, I would head. We would head down, and I mean, honestly, for the most part, most of my last I would say the last 8 years of my life, a lot of it's hard to recollect exactly. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. Are you similar in that regard or no?
I have a very good memory, but
can't say the same.
I've also done my fair share of drinking.
Yeah.
So there's spots.
Are there guys,
waves.
The culture of like professional golf, how many guys are like getting hammered and then going out and playing? Not playing hammered, talking more so just like sending it the night before, shaking the cobwebs off on the fairway the next day.
Less so. There's a dude that lives here. I don't know if he wants me to name his name, but my guy can go. He can drink. He ain't scared.
Yeah.
He pushes it like on a Saturday, and you know sometimes you get those shady texts from dudes. It's like, hey, what do you think about this matchup for gambling or whatever? And you know you try to stay away from it, but they always bring up, I heard so and so was out last night, and I'll be like, hey man, like beware of that. Like, this kind of thrives. You know, I know you might have saw his Instagram story, but like this might be a good thing.
I know
for
Johnny
him.
would make the argument that sometimes he's playing Sometimes he's playing a little better when he's.
I'm telling you, I
when
think
he's a
I
little
play
juiced
better. Yeah, I think I play better hungover because you're so focused on the literal easiest part of the game. You're like, just gotta hit it, hit the ball,
Trying to
hit
go
the ball
point A to
first.
point B.
Yeah, and it simplifies. And then when you're playing good, you're sober as hell. You're like, you're doing the Alan from The Hangover with all the math going on in your head. You're like, how about we just like hit the fucking ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, golf. You could probably argue it about any sport, but I feel like golf is almost just maybe more so strategy or just.
Yeah, it's like I think it's more mental because I try to put it like this. So one of my best friends is a pitcher, so we talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a lot like golf in the sense that this is probably a horrible take, so I mean a little tongue in cheek, but like when people say that Kobe Bryant's like my favorite athlete ever, when people say he's like the most clutch human of all time, like I'm with that. Like him, and Michael Jordan, like it's amazing, right? But it's reactionary. Coach tells you, hey, Kobe, you're getting the ball. It's like, okay, cool. And maybe you're nervous right then. I can't speak to that. But all of a sudden, the ball's in your hands and it's like jab, step, left, shoot, gone. When I'm nervous, I'm nervous I have to hit a shot and then wait 7 minutes to hit the next one. And then I hit one shot and then I wait another.
So essentially, you're
5
getting
minutes.
like iced.
You're
constantly.
icing yourself. Like I did that last week. I hit this putt and I could have finished or whatever. So I end up saying, oh, I'll wait. And I backed off. I'm like, I just iced myself, man. Now I got to sit here and think about this. So it's like a weird sport in that regard. It's more strategy. I definitely
about
think
new
people
obstacles
are
every day.
This is more of like informative for you than anything.
We're gonna start with like the physical stuff too, though.
What are you trying to say, man?
No,
Have you
baseline.
seen his hack yet? How's his
Baseline.
swing?
It's actually like to the eye, not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, like all the guys at Barstool that work at Foreplay, and this is like no bullshit. Like your swing is better looking than all of theirs.
Wow.
I'm sure like they'll beat you, but
Yeah, I don't
no,
think
and
any of
that's
those guys,
exactly
like,
that's
pride
exactly the
themselves on
point.
that.
Riggs looks like he's got. Speaking of Harry Potter, when he falls and all his bones break or whatever when they do the thing, like, that's what Riggs looks like when he swings. Like something's wrong with it, man. Like he had some weird
what's
elbow
crazy?
deformity.
He's like super athletic. But wait. He played hockey in college at Harvard.
That's a different. I mean, I believe that he's more athletic than me, but super athletic is tough. I will say though, that's the best part about golf is like, for like selfishly for my sake is like when LeBron James or somebody swings a golf club, you're like, you look terrible.
Yeah.
So I feel better about me.
You could make that argument about baseball too. Like there's a lot of guys who are like amazing athletes. I just saw a clip of Giannis. I don't know how to say his last name. But swinging, and it just looked like he.
Oh, it's awful. I played on my softball. All my friends played baseball, and I played a softball league, and they put me at second because in softball, most righties like nothing comes to second base.
You're not really spraying the opposite field in softball.
I was exposed.
If I gave you a baseball right now, how many MPHs could you hit? Don't gas yourself.
Do I get to warm up?
Yeah, for sure. And actually, I'll give you one throwing session, and you can take a few days off so your arm gets so you can like get to knock the rest off.
One throwing session wouldn't do much besides make me sore. But I would argue.
That's why I gave you the couple days.
Yeah, no, I would just be sore. I'd say probably 85, 86.
And what were you hitting at Duke?
94. I mean, look,
dude, do you ever worry about like going to school at Duke is like it's all nerds.
Yeah,
it's like not a good place to go to school.
Yeah,
my dad went to Duke. I grew up
Did
a
he?
Duke fan. Yeah, I mean I grew up a Duke fan, but
yeah, I wasn't bro, I almost went to Harvard. I was pretty close to going to Harvard. I don't know why. As much as I I didn't love learning, or like I wasn't like, man, I got fucking class tomorrow. I can't wait to cover the new top. You know what I mean? Like I was never like super enthused about learning, but I was good at school, man. I kind of like approached it like from a competitive standpoint, where I was just like, even if I had a good at that point, I had a good memory then. I guess like I would be able to retain shit really well, and then like I would pretty much flush it once I got the test.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I had a good time at Duke. Now it wasn't until I went on tour as Mike Stead and started really seeing what the college world could really offer.
Did you go to ASU?
Oh yeah. Man, I've been to a laughable amount of colleges. I know you went on a college tour.
Who do you think's been to more?
Me, by far.
More than me?
Yeah, not even close.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
You think it's not even close?
Nah. How many college campuses have you been to?
I mean,
Ballpark.
you've definitely hit the smaller ones probably more than I have.
Yeah.
but I've definitely hit every major one. I was just talking the other day. There's like probably on one hand I can name the ones I haven't been to.
Did you go to Cal?
I have been to Cal.
Yeah.
What'd you
I've been to
think?
Cal.
Nerds.
You did a song
is that
with
where you went?
everybody. Yeah. I was at school with the Log Ear,
Yeah.
Alex Logman. Yeah.
One of my first songs ever.
I know. I remember. That's when I first heard of you, and
Yeah.
it was tight because I get maybe not everybody, but I feel like everybody's got a friend who's a rapper.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
at
yeah.
high school or college.
Yeah.
And this dude Log, he's like, he's a wide receiver on the football team.
Yeah.
Just partied with them. His manager Ian was like our boy because he played golf a bit in college, and he's like, they did this song, and I was like, cool, man. Like, I'm sure, felt like the dude in Vegas who's like handing you his mixtape.
Right,
but we
right.
heard the song. I was like, shit, like this is fucking really
You liked
good.
it, yeah.
And then so we started listening to you all the time, and then Loggy ended up going to something called like Radical something. Yeah,
Yeah.
Radical something, and it was
like a
not,
band.
Yeah, not my type of music. So
Yeah.
I ended up veering off.
Went a
but,
little
yeah.
reggae-ish, didn't it?
It was very reggae. I was
Yeah.
more into the other scene,
Yeah.
which was fine. But yeah, that was the one highlight of cool that Cal had.
Yeah.
No, Cal is
Not a lot of.
Dude, you don't get enough credit for your music.
Thank you.
I'm not trying to gas you, but you get a lot of credit, dude. This is a nice ass house. But I don't think you get enough. And that, again,
Thank you, buddy. To be honest, it has. I think it's a decent amount of some of the business decisions we've made. Like, not to get too deep into it, it's you got to play ball. For the maximum amount of exposure, you really have to play ball. Personally speaking, coming from Duke and studying business, the fucking deals are fucking trash. They're really trash. Like the structure of the music business in general, you could argue is like. They're starting to shine some light on it. Like people like Kanye and like Taylor Swift are like sharing their stories
Right.
about, how the deals are like very, for lack of a better word, man, they're like, they call them slave deals. They own your voice. They own your namesake. They own the lion's share of the income. But you argue like their argument, the traditional argument is like, do you want 80% of a football field, or do you want 20% of a fucking mountain? So like their argument is they'll make it way bigger, but you're not gonna have the majority,
Right.
and you're not gonna really have much say in like a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
So now with guys like Post and people who are really fucking works, it's amazing. It makes tons of sense, right? Like looking at it on paper in that regard, like hell yeah, they put tons of money behind it, and he just makes amazing music, so it's gonna go anyway. But like, my point is, what you don't hear about, and what I got pretty privy to, I got like a pretty close peek behind the curtain of the music industry, and like, there's tons of guys who have really, really bad, guys and girls, just artists have really tough goes doing record deals, and then as soon as they put a little money behind you and it doesn't get any traction, they're like, fuck this guy. They literally have signed 30 people since they've signed you. Like you fall out of favor faster than you even can blink, and then like your livelihood is kind of in their hands, and personally, like I never really got the vibe that anyone really truly like got it or like really understood who I was or what I was doing, and I also you could argue that I just I got better over time in my opinion, and I knew that like I was really, really green. I was really amateur when I started. Like when you're talking about the loggy shit, like I made that in my dorm room on a GarageBand program. Like what I can say is like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I would even be right here or if I would have, any of the monetary success I've had if I did it traditionally. I really don't. That's my opinion. You could argue maybe otherwise, but it's just, in my opinion, like it wouldn't have really panned out in my favor.
Because it was more fun?
No, just like I think if I did a deal, it would have been a gamble. And then if it didn't work on a mainstream level, like the term is called, like it's a common term because that's how common it is, shelved. Like they're just like, didn't work out, man. Put $300K behind a few of his songs, none of it worked. Not really working, And it kind of happens. It happens a lot. So I don't know. I just follow my gut, man. My gut has been good to me so far, Like
that's the truth. Well, just following your gut in general.
yeah, I think anyone who sits here and I get to have a conversation with can you can make the argument that like one of their biggest qualities is like they have an instinct and they follow it. And usually I think like your intuition is a big part of like figuring out your path in life, you know, like with all the shit you do, there's a huge intuitive thing. I know you, so I already know that like you kind of get these radical ideas and you see them through, you know, and like that's why you've had success. And it kind of always, it feels like I said before, you're rolling into your next intuitive feeling about it, you know, and it's working. But you know, I feel the same about my career and trajectory. It's definitely rare, you know. But back to your point about like credit, I've had to let go of that. You know, there's been times where I've had a woe is me, like, you know, I do feel like I could have gotten more credit for, you know, for the music or whatever. But then I also like, if I really truly reflect on it, like I got really lucky, you know, like I was just a baseball player and I stumbled into this music thing and like I got this really pretty strong start. But I think a lot of it had to do with me being like an all-American baseball player, and there really hadn't existed where like there was a baseball player who could rap and it was kind of good, you know? So in my opinion, like all of that kind of, it was all those factors. But if I'm looking at it objectively speaking, there's tons and tons of people out there in the world that are more musically talented than I am, you know? So as much as I want to pity myself sometimes and think, oh, you know, I could get more credit, I got really lucky, you know, and like there's guys and people everywhere all over the world that can sing their ass off way better than I can and can play a million instruments and are Berkeley trained in music, and they haven't had one fucking show. You know, they haven't had one show where people paid tickets and went and saw them, you know? So I've played 700 shows, you know, and like I was just winging it. So if I'm really looking at it like that, it's hard to like go down that path and really like have any self-pity about it. But, you know, I do feel like, I played you some of the new tunes. I do feel like I pretty much feel invigorated all the time. I'm trying to make new shit, and I always feel like I'm always excited about the new stuff I'm making. I always feel like there's more, you know? So, and I truly feel like we're going into a new phase where I played Caleb some of the songs. It's like, you could call it a departure, but it's more like an evolution. Like, where the direction of music is going, I feel really good about. And I also have gotten some lucky breaks. Like I have some big artists who are gonna come on board and make music with me, or already have, that, you know, outside of me being in a record deal and the record labels, like that's how a lot of features happen. I've never really had features because a lot of it's inter company related. So, oh, we have 300 artists on our record label. Who do you want for these songs? And then like they'll orchestrate some features or whatever, you know? So a lot of features happen in that regard. And now I'm just coming into a phase where I'm getting some big features, but it happened organically.
That's better, because think about it, like if you get a record feature, the artist that's on your song don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the guys that you have are probably going to care more to promote it, you know?
They're homies, you know? They're homies. So in my opinion, that's the best way, man. It's the best way. And however it pans out, like even, you know, I have some other business ventures that have been great, like a big part of my monetary, you know, being able to sustain this, make this a career. If I did record deals, I don't know if I would have had the luxury of like engaging in some side businesses that have panned out for me, you know? So, you know, you can go back and forth all day and look at, I had Trevor Bauer here a few days ago, and we talked about how like the human syndrome of like the grass is greener on the other side. It's kind of always like, it's ingrained in us that we always like look over there and wonder what it would be like. And I've had those times and periods in my life where I wonder and you question your decision making and shit. But it's been great for me, man. It's been great. I got to meet a lot of amazing people. I've had so many just dope people like you just wandering over, and you guys just coming over because you fuck with the vibe, and couldn't really ask for more overall.
Don't put words in our mouth, dude.
No, you know what I mean though. Like I've met so many cool people, and it's been a fucking dope journey. Like if it were to end tomorrow, you know, probably take me a little bit to get over it and find something new, but shit, we've had a great run.
I think an interesting part about like success, I've been thinking about this lately, and to your point about how, or the question about credit, because I love your music. I've been listening to it since.
Thank you, man.
Since whenever In This Life came out.
That was
2011, 2012. Yeah. So I've been listening to it forever. I got my wife on it recently. She loves it, so we like rock with it. It's fun. And I don't know why I like certain music. Like some just hits your ear, right? So the interesting thing about success to me is the better you get at stuff, you become in more circles with people who are really fucking good at something. So obviously in this case, it's music. So it's easy to look around and say, man, I want to be, maybe not have what he has or she has, but be more like that. Like, oh, that's working for them. And then I think other people like these record labels would be like, hey, Mike, like, why don't you do something a little bit more like this? And to your intuition point, it's like, maybe I can't put a finger on why I like the music, but a lot of people I'm sure feel the same way I do, in the sense it's like, I don't know why, but if you changed it on accident, maybe I wouldn't like it anymore. And there's something there that people appreciate. And that's in every sport. You see people in football, a quarterback. I mean, shoot, Lamar Jackson was supposed to be a wide receiver for a minute. And it's like, when people like put their reins on you and decide where they think you should go, you lose like your gut of, no, like this is me. And that's in everybody, and everyone who does something awesome that succeeds at something has like that moment where, for me, it was like walking on the driving range, first year pro, and looking around and being like, man, that guy's good at that, and that guy's good at that. I need to get better at that and that, and never being like, you must be good at something if you're here, you know? And then you get older and you're like, all right, like, yeah, he is good at that, but like, I'm good at that. And then you have your little avenue. So that's the interesting thing about music to me, as someone who knows literally nothing, but I watch these shows, you know, on occasion, or the clips on YouTube of like these America's Got Talent. You hear some kids sing, you're like, holy shit, that's the most beautiful voice I ever heard. How are you not the most famous singer ever? But then you start to realize like, well, my ear must catch something from Mike Stubb music that like I'm not getting from that, because I'm purchasing this music and I'm watching this on YouTube, and then I'm going to forget about it in 20 minutes. Yeah,
it's valid. I appreciate it, man. I do. Yeah, I mean, Caleb can attest to this. I think that's why your relationship with Barstool is really fucking panned out, in my opinion. It seems like they let you do what the hell you want to do.
I haven't talked to him in a long time. I haven't. But I mean, yeah, exactly. That's just like free reign, which is good, man. You can't just, I couldn't. I realize about myself now, and it's not because I'm like a badass or something like that, which I'm not saying I'm not, but this is not the reason for it, is that I couldn't work for someone else in doing this. You know, maybe if it was something else, but not being creative and stuff. You can't work. I mean, I do, obviously. I'm not saying I don't. Like, I work for Barstool, I work for Dave Portnoy, but he's not on my ass, and I haven't even talked to him, honestly, in a long ass time.
Tough guy to wrangle.
But I don't try to. I don't want to wrangle him, man. He does his thing and let me do my thing, and that's perfect. And we have a good understanding. But I couldn't do what I'm doing, and someone's like looking over my shoulder, like, this would be funny. Like, you ever thought about doing this? You know, it's like, get out of my face.
Yeah, absolutely. But it shines through it. To your point, you don't know why you like it, you know, but you do. And I think that's the same. That's how I feel about it.
Look who walked in.
Blew you up in this bitch.
Yes, sir.
I actually need to take a pee break. Let's do a little pee break, and then we'll wrap
My bad,
this up.
dude. I should have just done it all at once. I didn't know you had to go.
Yeah, no, we could have went and held hands.
That's all right. Draw swords.
We'll be back.
We'll be right back with You Never Know, You Know What I Mean, right after this urination break.
I got 69 touchdowns, if you know what I mean. Only you know what I mean, baby.
Speaking of good ideas, we have my newest baby, and she's a looker. At first glance, you might actually like think it's some kind of sex toy or some weird device, but
words out of my mouth.
It's just a very simple. The concept, more or less, to simplify it, would be:
what if a genius went to spring break?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. To simplify it, it is the offspring of the two most traditional ways to drink a beer as fast as you can. And that would be a beer bong and a shotgun. Mm-hmm. Now, a better way, maybe you might get a better way to kind of break through and be like, hey, this is what the genius of it is. It's a pocket-sized beer bong. Mm-hmm. It's a handheld little beer bong. Beer bongs are amazing, but they're just big and like, it's not something you could really like bop around with at a party or really go anywhere with. I know this is technically 51 strokes. I personally think this is something that can go right into a golf bag and just be a staple in that community.
I think there's a lot of guys who would agree with you.
Yeah, so we really haven't ventured into that space yet, but as you touched on earlier, we like to tap on behalf of each other and tap people and help each other out. And you tapped some of the Barstool Familia for me, and we're gonna be doing some chug buds with Barstool.
Dude, I'm glad it's happening because I think that this is. I hate to say it, I think this is the future of drinking.
Thank you.
But also, before we do this, I want to say, and my, people who know me know this, but I had a stomach surgery. Okay. I had a hiatal hernia.
How'd that happen?
From lifting too much weight.
Too jacked? Maybe. You got too jacked?
Dude, I mean, you said it.
Yeah. When did that happen?
I think in college. Literally, I think it happened from like heavy squats, like low reps, heavy squats, and from like going.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
did it hurt to poop?
Hernia the other way, and I didn't even want to get into that, but I'm using it basically as a baseline for I'm not supposed to, chug.
You're using it as a crutch just in case it doesn't go well for you.
Well, so these are my limitations for the rest of my life, and this is serious. I can never lift weights again, heavy, low reps. I can do like, body weight, or I can do like golf exercises. Golf guys, But I can never do like really heavy lifting, and I can never throw up again. And so this comes into the second part of that, throw up.
What do you mean you can never throw up again? You don't have control over that.
For the rest of my life, I can never throw up.
So if you throw up, you like die?
Well, everything that they put together would break.
So what if you get sick?
So I have medicine that keep on me 24/7.
Wow.
I know you guys are going to try to take it all off me, but I can never throw up again. And so it is a blessing if sometimes you feel a little sick, because I do have the cure,
So what the hell is it?
I carry the cure.
I want some of that.
That's what I just said, right?
Yeah.
I know you were going to want some. It's called Zofran, but it's
so if you're going to yak it, you take pop one of those and you're good.
Exactly. Yeah.
So do you want to do a chug bud or no?
So I do want to try it, but I just want to say if I I'm not a guy who makes excuses.
Do we have a medic on?
I will stop before I throw up, but I don't want people to be like, wow, that guy killed is kind of a pussy.
Are you risking your life for the chug bud demonstration?
I don't have a beer though.
We gotta get Dana.
Oh, you got me a beer and I opened it.
Yeah, that's fine. You want to open it.
Okay, so
you
tell me how to
do
do it. How do you use it?
That's literally the only step is, Dana, grab one. Do we have a chug bud for him?
I'm glad you guys are doing this on Barstool, though. I think it's smart. I think it's really smart.
Really smart, and you helped put the pieces together.
I think 51 Strokes should sell these.
We can, 1,000,000%.
Can I make you want to see some shady business?
Yeah.
Okay, so Barstool, we have 2 golf brands.
Yeah, it's Foreplay.
Yeah.
And 51 Strokes.
And I'm very supportive of Foreplay, and they've been very supportive of me, and that's the main reason I'm supportive of them. I told Riggs, who runs Foreplay, I said, if someone would have done what I did to me, I wouldn't have been so nice. But Riggs has been awesome. Mm-hmm. So this is going to make me sound like a dick for saying this, but I would like exclusive golf membership to 51 Strokes.
You got it right here. This is as good as being on paper, sir. It's exclusive to you.
Riggs, no shots. I'm just trying to make some cash.
Is the guy who's going to be the face, more or less, of our Barstool collaboration. That's already been talked about.
You don't know how excited I was when I got that text. I've never been an ambassador of shit.
You're the ambassador.
I'm a Barstool ambassador.
Hell yeah. I mean, it goes without saying, you're perfect for it. I know. Yeah. Now, I know I sent one to you. You lost it pretty quickly.
No, listen, I haven't been home in a week and a half.
Oh no, the first one.
The first one, I think it's gone. So that was in the heat of my life.
A beautiful part about this is that they get lost so much.
Yeah.
But people want them, so it's just like, think about it. You're doing this when you're hammered, so most people are misplacing these. But
do you ever
I'd say that's good for business.
And this is a serious question. Do you ever worry about that they're too well made?
No.
Because what if
they're not too well made?
Well, what if someone had one for like 20 years and never needed a new one?
Yeah, it just doesn't really happen. And usually, like, the beautiful part about this, and I know you. Probably my favorite part about this business is that everyone who gets one of these, they go and market it for me. So they bring it to their boy, they bring it to the party, and then like there's like 3 or 4 people there at least that are like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's like, oh, you know, like so it kind of markets itself.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know, it's like anything else.
You deserve this though, because out of all the people I've ever met, you're in my top 3, not 3 of amount of beers you drink.
Yeah, drink a lot of beers.
So everyone deserves this too.
So a simple walk.
No, dude, you're not even close.
What are you talking
You're not
about?
even in the top.
You've
20.
only known me for 4 years.
Every time you want me to do this right now?
No. I know. He sees me at the hotel bar with a gin and tonic like twice, and he thinks I don't drink beers.
I love Dana, so that's why I'm not gonna say anything.
He's not Dana Gin and Tonic. He's
You
Dana
don't.
beers.
Sometimes you got to switch it up.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course. I mean, I've been drinking seltzers all night.
Mike
You
drinks
got to.
beers.
All right. So I'll make sure the beer is cracked. Make sure she's securely on. I like to do a little test here where you hold her by the. Oh, yep, she's on. Yeah, crack your beer. Yeah, that would have went bad.
Ambassadorship is not going.
Yeah, let's get this fucking under wraps. All right. Now, also, I want to include that seated chug buds, kind of they're a bit more challenging than standing chug buds. So put that in your file.
And so can you talk us through the last steps?
So listen, you're gonna lift it up. They'll start flowing. Don't panic. And then give her a good healthy stab, a good twist, and take it out. A lot of people don't take the key out, and that's your airflow. So the more airflow there is, the faster it's gonna come out. So maybe for you and your handicap, you go light on the hole. Don't make it too big. So
But the bigger the hole, the better the handicap.
the bigger the hole, the better the flow, and I don't think you want too much flow.
We're talking about 2 different things.
We are.
You go first, and then
Okay.
then I'll go.
I'm gonna do it with a dip in just to even the playing field. You ready?
Wow. All right.
To be honest, I had a little leakage. Stand. He's gonna stand. You have to raise the camera. Let's get a little emotional support for the guy who's injured. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Stab her. Take her out. Oh God. Could have went better.
That was because of my stomach.
Could have went better, but it still was good. And I like how you didn't baby it. You went right after it.
Well, here's the deal, man. I didn't know what was going to happen. And if I did, I wouldn't have done it, you know? It was intense.
You look fucking great.
It's a goodwill. The whole outfit's goodwill.
Here we go, Dana. Show us how it's really done. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Clean.
I'm going to go on record and
Ambassador.
say, yeah, that was an ambassador pull out of it. But I want to go on record and say that probably wasn't a full beer. Was it? Oh, did you crack her? Did you crack her? You hadn't drank any of it yet? Because then you just bodied me. You did it faster than I did.
I just cracked it.
Yeah. So that's why he's the ambassador. Give it up
I
for
believe
Dana
there's
Beers.
some foam. There's some foam, but that's all right.
Max Homa, can we go on record? If he's going to go on record, can you come on record and say it's not good to be a big chugger if you're going to be a pro golfer? He said, I wholeheartedly
He disagrees.
agrees.
He disagrees.
Whatever.
Well, honestly, it could have went better for you, but at the same time, I loved it for you. Thank
Glad
you.
I did it in front of you guys, man. I feel like we're all. I just met you, but
There's a lot of camaraderie in here right now.
we got a lot of camaraderie.
This is a good vibe. It's a great camaraderie. How are you feeling after that? Are you like in any type of pain that I should be worried about?
No, it's seriously, it's like it hasn't even really been an issue for me. But I used to throw up every time I went out.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you throw up the few nights you came to the Mike Stud show?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had for those listening, I had if you're still listening, I had Caleb. We were in Knoxville, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Were you in town doing the Dixie tour, or what were you doing down there?
We were doing the Dixie tour, and I don't really remember a lot other than I know that we like lost our car or something. I made an entire video the next day on Barstool. Like I missed an obligation or something because I was at your show, and I remember you were chugging Ciroc on stage, and it wasn't
Sure
a
was.
joke. Like I thought it was like a stage prop, and it was real.
Definitely wasn't. Yeah, Caleb.
You chugged the whole bottle, dude.
I'm
You
pretty
chugged
sure.
the whole bottle of Ciroc on stage.
Yeah, I'm like one of those dudes that have like a weird little loophole in my something about my body where like specifically vodka. Like I could I've drank absurd amounts of vodka in like one pull, and it never really floors me. Like, do you remember what? You have a better memory than I do. Do you remember what happened afterwards? Like, I was functioning and like rocking all night, wasn't I?
Do you? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, man. But I like.
Do you feel? This is a real note. Do you sometimes feel bad about how much we've forgotten?
It's poetic.
Because sometimes I really do.
The best ones are the ones we can't remember, or something like that.
I do feel like I've forgotten a lot of things because of drinking.
Okay, with you
and concussions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with you, and I've been talking about this a lot with my guys recently. But you could also make the argument that we wouldn't have had those memories if we weren't fucking tackling as many drinks as we could.
Yeah. This is another question I had from earlier that I forgot for Johnny. I was going to say,
yeah.
Do you think the NFL does a good job pretending to care about concussions?
No. I don't. Johnny, what do you think? Johnny's been on a fucking wave. He's been on a tidal wave over there. I would argue probably not.
Who do you think your main who's your main who's making it through the full 2 hours of listening to us talk? Like, who's still here right now?
Pretty much everyone. We have like.
You got road dogs. Your fans are intense.
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say like it's.
What are they called?
Steves.
The Mikes.
The Steves.
Oh,
the Mikes.
I knew that. I already knew the answer, but I forgot it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we got a good strong. Look, we talked about it earlier.
What a whore! You got a whore of a dog, man.
Yeah, he loves attention. Loves attention.
Like his dad.
The
whore part, not the attention part. Probably both.
Actually, hasn't fucked a single thing. He's not a whore at all.
Like his dad.
I haven't fucked anything either. Chopped him off early. I feel bad for the guy, but you know what? It's better for him to not fuck anything than fuck one. Because then if he fucks something and then I chopped his balls off, then he would know. He would have. No, we're talking about being neutered, right? He never fucked anything, so he doesn't even know what that is.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's like if he got like us. Well, I don't want to speak for you. You know, people who are circumcised.
I'm circumcised.
Okay, so for us,
they
say that you get way more pleasure. And I'm not saying sex is all about pleasure. You know, there's a lot of other stuff going on.
I would argue it is.
But they say you get more pleasure if you're uncircumcised.
Really?
Yeah, like by 25% or something. 15%. Look it up.
Is anyone in here uncircumcised? Yeah, he's.
No, it's like you lose most of your sensory shit.
He was born in Mexico, so that explains not being circumcised.
That's
I don't know if that's a thing or not. I just made that up. But it is. That's what he said. Yeah, no, I can't speak to that, but I get a decent amount of pleasure out of it, even still.
Can you imagine?
Can't believe I still do. Definitely less than I used to, I guess. But yeah.
I was just saying, can you imagine the other side, how the other side lives, our Jewish friends?
Yeah, how it feels. Probably awesome, man.
I never even knew it was a real thing. I thought it was a joke until I played college football.
Did you did you have more sex as a student athlete? Now, I know UNC football isn't like this very similar experience to being a Duke baseball player. Probably a little less, actually.
Dude, no. Wait.
UNC football, when you played, let me get through my thought. When
Dude,
you played
won the ACC when I was there. How many times did Duke win the ACC?
What, in baseball?
Yeah.
0 when I was there.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean,
by the way, we had sanctions, so we couldn't go to the game. But
you were a supervisor of morale, and I was the All-American, so it's a little different tiers.
What would you rather be?
What?
Would you rather be the coolest guy at your school?
Yeah.
Right? Everyone looks to you for moral support when they're feeling bad.
That was you?
They're going through a tough time.
Yeah.
And you really are helping people. You know, every day, it's like you're like a soup kitchen worker. Every day, you're helping the people who need it most. Or would you rather be an egocentric fucking guy who just cares about himself, just throwing fastballs?
Yeah.
All the papers are writing about him. He doesn't come to class.
Personally,
who would you rather be?
Personally, this version of me right now, I'd rather be the guy who's making people feel good.
Okay, well, that's all I'm saying, man.
So let's get back to my original question. Stop trying to dodge it.
What was the
Did you
question?
think you had more sex being the supervisor of morale for UNC football or being the Sunday conversation guy
Dude,
at Barstool
girls,
Sports?
okay.
That's your main thing right now.
Okay.
Plus 51 strokes. I think Sunday conversation's genius.
Let me
I
tell you
love
something. Girls don't like comedy in general.
It's debatable.
They say they do, and they don't. Or they might like comedy, but like, it is what it is. I have some questions for you before we go. Okay. So I told at the beginning of the episode, I said, I really like how your taste is good.
Thank you.
I already said in the episode as well that I think your music's underrated, but I think your taste is impeccable. Evidenced by not only the people that you brought in along the way, but also the chug. I mean, it's the chug bud. It's like you can see something before it's happening, right? Before it's happening, and then you're able to.
Yeah.
My question is this: who or what are you looking at now? Who are you seeing? Who are you tapping right now? Who are you DMing, or what things are you looking at, or what movements are you respecting? What are you looking at right now?
Fair point. To be honest, you said something over there, and I'm going to bring it up right now because it's very valid. And I think it speaks to what you're getting at a little bit. Like you said about your dad, who's a great businessman and doesn't like to talk about it.
Guy.
And you asked, probably got a great dick on him too. But I guarantee, no. But what you said about like when you asked him like what's your biggest piece of advice for being good and being able to navigate business is, you allow things to flow to you, and then instead of going out and reaching for everything and searching for everything, like you allow things to flow to you, and then you handle them or you delegate them properly, right? The chug bud, like, or the post thing or anything, or even just you, like I'm able to, what I said earlier about like when I get around somebody or something, I do think I'm good at that. Like I'm able to be like, ooh, that's a winner. He's a winner, I can't say there's anything right now that like there's not really anything right now I'm like super charged up about as far as even like an artist. Like I usually have a pretty good gauge on artists before they get popping. But yeah, like this is kind of a cop out of your question, but nothing really in particular.
No artists, really?
Yeah, I'll say something right now. There's a kid I just got privy to. His name's Kid G. I haven't even said this to anyone yet. Just found him, but he's in this space. I just played you some of the music and in that like country hybrid space a little bit. This Kid G has a record I just heard that I think is like a great version of the stuff I'm making. It's like kind of country, but it's kind of not. It's really good. Who else? It's kind of too lit. Yeah, that's really it. And then also, I would say I've gotten huge into like the podcast space, and me and Johnny are doing a Ball Don't Lie podcast, which is kind of a part of the reason why we're here. But
What do you say?
So we're doing a podcast called Ball Don't Lie.
Ball Don't Lie.
Yeah, and it's gonna be kind of a version of his tell-all, where he's just kind of like talking about what he's gone through and where he's at now. But I would send him, as we had the idea, I would send him Mike Tyson. Have you seen any of Mike Tyson's podcasts?
I saw the one with who was it? Lil Boosie is with.
Yeah. I think Mike Tyson.
He's the best interviewer in the game.
I think Mike Tyson's the best podcaster right now by far.
Yeah, because you don't ever want to like if you never know if the podcaster's going to beat your ass. And,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, he's coming from a place, and it's kind of where why I would send it to Johnny, because like Johnny's coming from a place where he's experienced like some really radical shit, and it's kind of hard to relate, but it's also notorious. Like you're familiar with a lot of the stories, or you can even maybe wonder what it was like, but he's never really shared it. And the reason I got so into Mike Tyson was like, he's experienced so much more than like 99.9% of people.
And seems to have come out the other side.
Yeah, exactly. And like, that's kind of how I feel about Johnny, in the sense where he's like come to a place of like peace with it. And he's like very honest, and like can just be, biggest thing that shines through for Mike Tyson is his honesty. And like, I've gotten into that more, this kind of spiritual side of like being honest. And like, on this podcast has been a lot less serious than most of ours, but we usually talk about like life and like outlook.
I'm glad, dude, because I don't know shit about it.
Yeah. I mean, let's get into it real quick. Let's get into it. What, in your world of like being a sarcastic, satirical guy who's always like kind of funny and not very serious, what's it like behind closed doors for you?
Dude. All right. I'm trying to think of a serious answer.
No, it doesn't have to be a serious answer. Just like if you're not even, are you wondering about, like how's your psyche really like, it's kind of not a persona, but it is in its own regard. Like you have a persona that's very like
I think everyone's like a real person. The guys, my road dogs, Glenny Balls and Dana Beers will tell you, we call ourselves the Clown Boys because we're down to clown. But
boys make the noise.
You know what I'm saying? But
you guys are up to no fucking good over here. I love it. This whole gang right here is fucking hilarious.
We rampage around the United States with and follow protocols. That's all we do.
That's all you can. That's all you can do.
But I mean, they know like I'm serious about the work and stuff because I like doing the work and I like doing the. It's like football or like baseball, man. It's like you get joy out of that part of the process too. I enjoy working my ass off, and I do. And they'll tell you too. Like I work my ass off.
Yeah. No, I see that for sure, 1,000,000%.
But I like it. It's like I'm not complaining about it for 1 minute. I like working my ass off. But if I'm behind closed doors, that's pretty much what I'm on. I don't have. There's been points in my life where I've thought I've had it figured out. Never have. You know.
Same.
I've always been maybe a little off or caught a wave or whatever, whatever you want to call it, caught a moment in time where I was really in sync with everything, every part of my life. And those moments for me have tended to fade away, and I wish I could hold them, but I can't. The only advice, or I don't even know if you're asking for advice, but the only thing I could say with any truth is that, I have a lot of flaws and shit, but I can say that I am positive that the moments in my life where I've listened to my gut, those have been 100% of the time good. And that's really all I can say. I can say that, and I do think, if we just want to get real, real deep, I think that there is a lot of other shit going on beyond humans. And I don't mean aliens. I just mean, I think there's definitely other realms happening, spiritual stuff. I believe in all that. And I believe that if you follow your gut, you're going to put yourself in the best position. Other than that, dude, I don't know. I wish I could.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
I don't have
nothing more than that. That's dope. Mm-hmm. So when you're going through your day to day, are you being the persona you are, right? And it's obviously mainly comedic. Is it ever hard for you to turn that on when you're going through the trenches in life, or not necessarily going through the trenches, meaning bad things are happening to you, but is it hard for you to turn it on when shit in your regular life is not as, or you're just not firing on all cylinders, like you said, it's a fleeting thing where sometimes you're right in flow and it feels amazing, and then the other times it isn't, but you're still obligated to do what you do. No, you're not on a crazy schedule with them, are you? With your content, you kind of work at your own pace, or?
Right now I'm on a pretty crazy schedule right now.
Yeah.
Today, even today was crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. When I first started at Barstool, I think I felt a little bit of a pressure to be maybe something. I don't want to say something I wasn't, but it was just when you first come into a limelight, which I don't know what at that time it was 2015 Barstool, but there was still a lot of it was big. It was bigger than anything.
It's been big the whole time.
And when I was even the supervisor around North Carolina, so you got a lot of eyes on you. At that moment, and people can probably relate to this even if you've never been in the public spotlight, but anytime you really come into a new arena of life or a new echelon of okay, there's more people paying attention now, there is a little bit of, you feel that initial pressure. I felt that. And I probably, I can't go back and watch myself at that time. I'm oh, dude, what, you just,
yeah,
you have that
trust me, I can relate.
I don't want to even look at that version of myself,
Yeah.
But that was a part of that, that was a part of it. So it is what it is. But I think what I've realized is I can't, you got to find that it's there is a reason. Max was saying earlier, he was saying, there's a reason. He was talking about whenever he's stepping up to hit balls and he's looking around, he sees Tiger Woods and he's like, dude, why am I sitting here? But there's a reason you're at where you're at. So I think what I've had a realization is like, okay, like you're definitely, there's a reason that you got this opportunity. So, you know, you don't have to be someone you're not.
Right.
You can be yourself. And my normal sense of humor is kind of what I go with.
Yeah.
But I also like to work hard, and I get serious about working hard. And people who are around me in that close environment, like people who are like the editors and Dana and Glenny Balls who travel with me, they know like I'm serious about what we do. Yeah. But dude, I can't imagine not being serious about what you do. Yeah. I like not being serious, but I can't imagine not being serious about what you do.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to fuck around with what I do.
Right.
That's what I do, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
If I'm not gonna be serious about that, the one I'm gonna be serious about. But I do like to laugh.
Yeah. And that's honestly, bro, real shit. It's a part of my life that I work on right now to laugh more, smile more. It's like because I've had a lot of lucky breaks, like really. So when I look at it on paper, sometimes I'll judge myself, be like, why the fuck am I not laughing and smiling the whole fucking day? I got my buddies here, you know, nice house or whatever. We get to do what we do, and I've had all these lucky breaks, but that's why I like getting into this, just because it's interesting.
Dude, this is why you got to play golf, man. Fucking Johnny will tell you, bro. Golf is the craziest thing because I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I've only been playing for a short amount of time. Max will speak to it better. He's sitting over here, but it's like all that worrying. It's like a form of meditation. You'll love it because it's still athletic.
Yeah.
Right? It's competitive. You probably miss being competitive. You're not competitive anymore.
That's why I play a lot of beer pong.
Right.
We play a lot of high stakes beer pong in this house.
Dude, as a man, I think you're supposed to be competitive. I think there's supposed to be a part of your personality. It shouldn't be your whole personality.
No,
but I think there's a part of your personality that's supposed to be like, go up and get it, be the best. Go, you know.
Yeah. No, you know what? You're not wrong. But I do, and maybe I need to channel it more. But I channel that through like competing, and you know, I've taken a weird route with music, and just no one really thought like Mike Stead was gonna be able to sustain it. Like most people looked at it as a flash.
I did from the first time I heard you. I don't want to gas you up again.
That's dope.
Your musicality is good, man.
Thank you, man.
I know that's off your point, but I don't want you to say that. I feel like it's a bad narrative to spin. I think your musicality is right there with literally top of top people. Like top, like not like I'm talking about like the top of the top. I think it's in that realm. There's been times where you've like shined and it's been like this song is, and I think you've went platinum off records.
Yeah.
And is that not crazy to you? You have platinum records and people aren't talking about you in the same breath as other people who don't even have platinum records?
Thought about it, you know.
But you probably shouldn't. You probably should focus on other stuff. But it is crazy.
Yeah. No, I thought about it. I don't give tons of thought to it. Yeah, it's especially doing it the way we've done it. You know, I think at some point, if I do this properly, you know, at some point people will get it a little more. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of tried to lean the other way. Like it's really not that important what other people, you know, the attention or accolade of somebody saying, acknowledging that, it's fucking great. And if it happens organic like this, and you say that, and you really feel that way, it's fucking awesome to me, you know. But it doesn't really get my rocks off like that, you know. and I've worked at that. I've used to be a lot more like egocentric, truly, you know. But I get what you're saying. I do think I wanted to ask that about you too. Like as I've gotten more popular, or even just as I've sustained it and I've had success, like it's kind of made me a little more humble, man. I get a little like I do have a feeling of like, you know, I feel like I can acknowledge that I've been lucky to like figure this shit out, you know. And if you really break it down on a bigger level, like when you mentioned like you believe in there's something bigger going on, like it is pretty wild that I was good at sports and then I could do this too, you know. So I try to lean more on that, and like if I'm really focused on like the fact that people might not acknowledge it at the rate, you know, at the what I think they should acknowledge it at, it's cool, you know. I'm okay with it, and I've come. It wasn't always like that, you know. Part of it was fuel, and maybe I wouldn't be as good. Like I really dedicated my life to it for the most part, you know, just getting better and doing it. But you know, I'm happy the way things have worked out. But I fucking appreciate it, man. I know you have. I know you've always been a supporter, but like to me, really, it's more about the people. Like I really do have like every day, like talk about my fans. I have great fans. It's not the biggest crowd, you know, like if you compare it to
You just weight or what?
What's that?
You just got like they're skinny or what? No, I've seen your fans.
They're hot.
They got some meat on them. No,
We got hot fans.
You got fans in Knoxville.
I've taken down a lot of the fans.
Is that okay?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I saw people getting in trouble for that.
Fuck your fans.
I don't want to, I'm messing up the vibe. But
don't fuck.
It's a good.
I'm not saying
question to
fuck the fans. I'm saying fuck the fans. Not you. You know, if you're in an engagement with a nice young lady, you don't fuck the fans. Personally, I've had some of my better experiences with women that were supporters because the passion level is so high. You know,
you guys are a lot about passion. It's important here.
A lot of passion. Yeah, I'm very, very into, even just in general. But like, yeah, I've had a lot of good times with fans, and to be honest, the fans. To get back to the serious note of it, like the fans have made, like I get the appreciation from them. Yeah, you know, it's not like a Billboard fucking music awards and shit. And again, I don't think I've played I haven't really gone that route business decision wise to get that stuff. So there's a little bit of that in the equation too. But I get tons of appreciation every day. And like when I go through, I go through points where I like have self-doubt or I don't necessarily feel like I'm in the zone. Like you said, it's fleeting for me as well, you know? But when I can open my phone and get a bunch of messages from real people that like fuck with it heavy, it makes it easier for me to keep going, you know?
Dude, I feel like sometimes, and I'm first of all not on your level
you're getting
success,
there, man.
and also like I would love to see her say like I got a bunch of fans, but I'm not sure that's true.
I think you do.
But I will say this, you know, even just social media, just what it is. I think even people who have, 100 followers can relate to this. It doesn't give you nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah.
It don't give you nothing. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Like you hear people talk about it, famous people talk about it, people who are not famous talk about it. It don't give you nothing. So
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't like. I get what you're saying. I would argue against it. Like, I get what you're saying though. Like, you're not like, it's not this arrival when you have a bunch of followers and shit that you're like, oh man, I'm the, like, I get it. I don't disagree with that notion. What I'm saying is like, for me personally, being like an independent artist, I kind of owe it all to the fans. I do. Like, you're in a big company and shit, and like, like it might be streamlined in some ways. Like with fans stop giving a fuck about what we were doing, we'd be fucking assed out.
Dude, but my fans that I care about, and I use fans lightly, but the people that I actually do feel like, oh, that's cool, is like the people who like 51 strokes, which is a very small, which is my golf thing, which is like a small group of people. But it's like, that's where I feel like, and maybe it's because your career, you're more organic to yourself. Whereas like I'm over here and I'm like asking Johnny about his, like if he ever gets his hands farted on by a center. But, then that.
Good question.
It's like, maybe that's why. It's because it's not,
I love that question.
It's not necessarily like the most like, it's truly, I don't know how to say it, but
I get it.
Those fans, like when they're like, oh, I really like what you're doing. Like, I respect that. I guess I do get something more. I like that I like that people can connect with the idea. I think I really like the thing the most is that not necessarily that they like me, but it's that I'm saying something that's true because people go to the truth, man. People gravitate towards it. It doesn't matter who's saying it. So it's like, if you're saying something that's true, which is like, all I'm saying is follow your gut feeling. People are gravitating towards that. It's not even necessarily that they're gravitating towards me. They're going towards what I'm saying.
Going towards the truth.
And it makes me feel good, not because it's like, oh, this is true. I got to keep going for it too, you know?
Yeah.
That's, I think, what I get the most out of.
That's tight. Being a vessel for the,
Because I know it's like, nah, me, I ain't shit. And I know I'm not shit. So,
but I don't know. I would argue against that because it's as you have a bigger platform, it's harder to be authentic and like have an original thing. I think you have an original thing that's when you say true, I totally co-sign that, but it's true to you, and then it's also like you're kind of like going in a space that like you're leaning on. You're saying shit that like people want to say, but they don't necessarily say, or people want to ask, they don't necessarily ask. But bigger than that. Dude, like what I just said, like I'm literally trying to make an effort to laugh and smile more. You're making people laugh and smile, you know, like
yeah, that's nice.
That's tight. That's tight. You don't have to like one point you'll even like even if you don't yet, you know, like you'll see the value in that because it's I know a lot of comedians like feel that way, you know, like and especially in times like today where a lot of people don't have tons of shit to laugh and smile about.
Do you know Theo?
Yeah.
I think that what he's doing is like
you were on his podcast at one point, right?
Yeah, and I've got a chance to hang out with him a couple times, and not in any like extensive space. But I went to one of his shows. I went to a show Justin Bieber came to in New York. Well, it was cool just because I got to see Theo's like he was like shocked. It's probably like one of the I'm not gonna say highlights of his career, but it was probably one of the most memorable nights of his career. Cool. And so I got to see his reaction, which was cool for me. And then I've seen him a couple other times, but I think what he's doing is very cool because it's like he does the comedy thing, he does the stand-up, but he also is very real.
Yeah.
And he's like very open. Yeah. And it's like, I think his fans would probably be the type of fans you would want.
Yeah.
Which are like, they relate.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, I guess my whole point is, and I've done a bad job of explaining it, is that I don't think there's any gratification or any point of having people who follow you just because they like you. It's about having you're saying stuff that people are agreeing with because it's true. Yeah. And it's like everyone's like, yo, it's almost like a movement. And that's when you see people have really powerful audiences.
Absolutely.
When it's a true movement where everyone's not necessarily like even Russell Brand. I used to love Russell Brand. It's kind of a random person to throw in right now.
I love Russell Brand right now.
And I do too. But like I was really into Russell Brand for a while. But it was like he's great, but everything he's saying is like, oh man, I'm really buying into what he's saying. I'm not necessarily buying into like, I'm not trying to fuck Russell Brand, you know, but I'm trying to fuck those ideas, you know?
Yeah.
But he's the one who's saying them.
Yeah.
And so,
no, the connection, there's when you have a strong, that just builds a bigger bond, you know, like when there's something real, there's an undertone of like a connection versus just like, oh, you know, he's funny or whatever. You know, I get what you're saying for sure.
I guess it's just hard as like a creator. You want to have a real thing with the people who follow you, and I guess that's just my goal. Is like, I like everything I do.
I think you're doing it,
but I want to have like a 51 strokes where it's like, all right, this is, you know, this is kind of me, and this is. I hope we.
Think you have a really cool identity.
Trying to link in.
I've always been a fan and a supporter, but I really do. I think you always find a way to let yourself shine through it. It's easy to connect to people. Like I think that's why people liked my music or. You know, what we were talking about earlier. Like, you don't know why you like it, but you do. You know? I think it's happening for you. I think you're killing it.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
Are you ever going to cut your hair, or is this for everything?
I don't have no reason to do it right now. I mean, if it starts leaving me, I will.
Yeah.
You know, if it departs on its own.
I mean,
wants to leave home early.
Like, I feel like long hair is kind of a phase for most people. It's arguably not a phase anymore for you. Since I've known you, you've had it. Even in high school, did you have it?
I started growing it out in college I wanted to have some flow under my helmet.
Lettuce?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'll cut it. But also it's like, who knows?
I wouldn't.
I cut half of it one night.
You did?
I was with the guys from, I was with Chase. Dude, Luke Combs tweeted this last night. How crazy is this?
I saw it. I saw you repost it.
How crazy is that?
You played.
It's not that crazy.
You played with Luke Combs football.
I was on Luke Combs' high school football team.
And did I see Chase Rice?
And Chase Rice was a couple years in front of us.
I've been talking with Chase Rice. Good dude.
Chase is awesome.
Yeah, cool motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. Is like we know the same people.
Yeah.
It's just weird how that works. But anyways, I don't know, bro.
You've been honestly, it's been nice to watch. I DM'd you because I I always keep up, and it's been nice. You got a good little gang with you. We're gonna play.
Boys?
We're gonna play some Glenny Balls. I met as your intern. What was that? 5 years ago or so?
Do you know how I hired Glenny Balls?
How'd you hire him?
You know?
No.
So Glenny Balls was
Great fucking name too.
Glenny Balls comes in. We have been doing interviews all day, and I was kind of asking him the same questions I always ask. And he comes up, and I said, "Hey, are you fast? Are you a fast guy? You live life in the fast lane?" He said, listen, I mean, you see my size. I'm not the fastest guy 40 time, but for my size, I'm very fast.
Believe it. Look like you got some wheels on you.
and I think we should do it. I think we should do it for a social clip for your show because
all right.
He is extraordinarily athletic.
Believe it.
And I didn't when I first. So what I did, I said, all right, let's go down the street. We're in New York City. He's starting to limber up. So
he stands up.
We went down to 27th Street in New York City, and he ran a whole city block.
Are you flexible?
And I hired him on the spot.
Not flexible, but you just got fast twitch muscles. You just firing. You want to come up here? Come on up.
No, I mean I'm not fast by any means, but for my size, I'm fairly fast. Yeah, I'm not flexible.
Do you think you can you beat Caleb in a 40 race?
Give me like a 4.5 second handicap, maybe.
Okay.
I think we did a Barstool combine with Todd McShay. I think it was June 2017.
Yep.
I think my 40 time was like 6'3".
Not bad.
Which I feel like isn't bad.
Not
for
bad.
the size, right?
Not bad.
Not crazy.
You have we got another connection in the house. I remember a clip of you and Johnny throwing some. Johnny was just rifling some.
Oh,
just running some routes for Johnny. But you
honestly,
look like you had some wheels on you.
Can I tell you guys that you and Johnny have a integral part of the best moment of my life?
Wow.
I don't think you guys know that.
Can you elaborate?
I don't think you know this. Both of you. It was our Super Bowl party in 2017 in Houston.
Remember.
You're performing.
Stepping away like that.
You're performing. You called me on stage to chug with you, and you gave me a Stella bottle. Which, listen, I'm not a good chugger in the first place. I'm a horrible chugger. I can only chug really if I'm doing like flip cup or something. It's like a psychological thing. But
right.
You handed me beer right now and said chug it. I can't do it. So you hand me a Stella bottle, which is fucked up. Either way,
I think that's all I had.
Like I had maybe like 3 sips, horrible, and you're like, all right, you suck it off the stage.
I remember this now.
But I remember you're playing, I think these days, I'm right there with Johnny.
Yep.
And then earlier that day, we have like a binder of celebrities that who's coming to the concert. We're at our house. Caleb goes to me. He's like, yo, your boy Guy Fieri's coming tonight. You know that, right? I'm like, what?
Guys,
what did you just say? Number one, it's Guy Fieri. Say it correctly.
Shit.
Number 2, are you fucking kidding me? So all night I'm there. I'm just saying to myself, am I gonna see Guy Fieri tonight?
Flavor Town.
So you kick me off stage, telling me I chug horribly, which I did, and I'm walking down, face down, just disgusted with myself. And I hear somebody hit me on the shoulder. I just hear you chugging like a fucking pussy. I look up, Guy Fieri, and it was. Yeah, it hasn't been top since. That's literally my Twitter bio. It was Guy Fieri once told me I chug like a pussy. Like
I love that.
All I care about. It was the best moment of my life.
I love that so much.
And then me, Caleb, and Big Cat took a picture with him, and that's all I care about.
I love that so much for you and for us, for all of us.
And that was their whole rumor that night. He was there literally just to find Johnny. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
All I want to do.
Yeah.
And so I mean, that was just the best.
He's the shit. He's the shit. He's actually. We're talking to him about doing Flavor Town Chug Butts. He loves them.
Who are you not talking to, man?
Everybody.
You get Flavor Town chug butts?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a Flavor Town chug.
Yeah, hell yeah, you are. You're gonna have to learn how to chug first.
I could chug from
Dude, you know that you're gonna be like a billionaire
that's
off
the
this,
thing.
right?
I could chug from a chug butt.
Trying. I'm hoping so.
Unbelievable. And well deserved, I guess, huh?
Glenny, I want to say,
Bro.
for someone with a bad memory, I want to say I remember you telling me when I met you too. You're like, I was just at one of my friends. I remember my senior year of high school. Did I play a Sweet 16?
Sophomore year of high school, 8 years ago. I'm at a Sweet 16 in the city.
Yep.
It was like the biggest day ever. I'm from Long Island. All of our friends are getting on the Long Island Railroad. We're getting limos to go to the Sweet 16. And this is 2012, so no offense, you weren't the biggest guy in the world. But but sorry, but we're there and they're playing like, oh, who's coming out? They're playing Kanye and Jay-Z.
Is Kanye coming out?
Someone mentioned like Big Ange. I was like, holy shit, Big Ange is coming from Mob Wives? No. And then you popped down.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I didn't know who you were at the time. But me and my buddy were like, all right, no, stick a picture. Maybe I'll get famous.
Yeah.
This was 8 years ago. This was like March 2012. And I'm like, you know what? This is full circle.
Got to
In
maybe
like 3 months, this is about to be 9 years.
you could argue not very famous, maybe C-list famous, but yeah, got a little definitely came up from then.
But that's the thing. Like my class of high school has followed your career the whole time because
Love
you got
that.
that Sweet 16.
Love that.
It was crazy.
Honestly, it's not the only one. I think it's the only Sweet 16 I played, but we went and played like some private birthday
Killer
parties.
just mentioned a Chicago one, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Sweet 16?
Do remember it clear as day. Because you want to know why? It was one of the first bigger paychecks I got at the time, and I was like, ooh, because I came from, dude, right? If you saw like where I grew up, probably very similar to you guys. I don't really know, but I very very blue collar middle class family. So to get, I remember clear as day because it was the first double digit offer I got. It was like 10 or 11 grand.
That was over 10 grand.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the name, but damn.
Yeah, and I remember, and I'm like, that it's etched in my memory because that was the first time I was like, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Doing
I
good. We're doing
texted my
good.
friends earlier. I was like, yeah, we're hanging out here, and they were, you got to take like a where it started, where it's going.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like that was about to
How
be
it
9
started,
years ago.
where it- yeah.
That's about to be 9 years ago. It's
Yeah.
a fucking long time.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah.
We've had a great run, Glenny.
good
It's
story.
good to have you, under the roof
You ever
again.
hear about the Glenny ball?
Well, he was.
I don't know how
I
much
would
time we
I would
got,
venture
but-
to say you were invited.
Glenny Ball. I don't know
Oh, this is a bad story, but
what happened.
so I got hired at Barstool. Always remember the date, September 16th, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I had just turned 20 so August 11th, 96, September 16th. I just turned 20. Caleb
You're
hired
20.
me.
You're 20 years old.
Thank you, Caleb. Appreciate it. But so my 21st birthday was that August.
Okay.
So a few of the guys at work tried to arrange a 21st.
Few of the guys at work.
What?
It was me and Lewis. Yeah. So throw me some credit.
So Caleb was up there. Caleb was up there as
All
well.
right, thank you.
But so we were trying to do a 21st birthday party. We got a nice house in the Hamptons, a beautiful house in the Hamptons. We stayed there for a weekend in April. Had a good time. But
Nice.
and it just went down the hill. Thank God it went down the hill. Thank God it got canceled. We somehow
let me take over really fast. So you left out some details I want to share.
share them.
Okay, so first of all, it's called the Glenny Ball.
Mm-hmm. Great name.
Great name for a
It
party.
sells itself.
Is that you?
Glenny Balls, 21st birthday, the Glenny Ball.
Yeah.
Where is it? The Hamptons. Who's coming? Everyone. You know how? Every single person in the Barstool Rolodex, every person who follows Barstool, you're talking about people from Baron Davis to
David Wells,
David.
Adam Sandler,
What an
Seth
eclectic
Rogen.
group.
I mean, it's
Bill Burr he was the only one that responded. Bill Burr got invited, and I remember he responded, "Can't make it. Happy birthday, though, GB." That was a big moment.
it's a who's list.
Bill Burr, the
You
man.
were probably invited, Johnny. Literally everyone got invited. Honestly, check your DMs.
I would have
bet you
been.
there's
I would have
two.
been there.
So
I love
anyway,
that.
but we were firing off basically DMs, and it was at the time where Barstool was in a weird place between being like a funny thing. I mean, it's still a funny thing, but it's like
Yeah.
a really no rules thing, and it was like kind of starting to build rules.
Yeah.
And we were right in the middle, and I mean, Lewis gave us credit; he was above us. He gave us the permissions, but we fired off DMs to every single person. We said, "Please come to this 21st birthday party." And we were asking David Wells to come to the 21st birthday party.
Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler.
And people were starting to hit up Dave about it. Like, dude, is this what
It's a
should
real
we
thing.
wear? Like, people were coming. It was in the Hamptons. We had a multi-million-dollar mansion in the Hamptons. Like,
Yeah.
and
Thank God it was canceled, though. It would have been bad if it happened. Thank God.
So what did it turn into?
I don't
You
think
guys
it
just
would've-
fucking off out there?
It turned, no, we canceled. Thank God. Like I just said.
Why do you
thank-
keep saying thank God? I think it's the worst thing
It
ever.
would
that
have
got
been
canceled.
horrible that we had it. There was going to be so many more people there that weren't really invited. We was in a quiet Hamptons town. You know how bad that would have been? So thank God that got canceled.
I think you're looking at it from the wrong.
Thank God that got canceled. But what did we do for my 21st birthday? So Asa Akiro, who used to work with us,
Mhm.
famous porn star.
Oh yeah.
She's done a
She's
few things.
fantastic.
She's great. She took us out to we just went karaokeing in Manhattan. It was a delightful 21st birthday.
Awesome.
You know what was the saddest part of that day, though? I fucking took out all my fake IDs that day, put them on a table, went to take a piss. I came back. All of them are gone. I still don't know who took my fake IDs. I wanted to like show those to my kids. They're all still gone. All my fakes. 2 Connecticut's, 2 New Yorks. But still, that was the worst part of the day. Either outside of that, no, yeah, it was great. Just a little karaoke. Oh, we did go to Sapphire, a strip club in the city.
Yeah.
Which is all right. I'm not really a strip club guy. People
Me
think
either.
I'm a strip club guy. I'm not.
Not either.
No.
Not either.
No.
Fake I-
There really is no better feeling. Like everyone used to say, and they would tell me before, people that were over 21 would tell me, enjoy it while it lasts, because once you can get into a bar easily,
It's not as special.
it's not as fun. And it really is so much damn fun.
Yeah.
Like I still remember my address in Connecticut. I don't want to say it. Something Road, 50 something Road, Darien, Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's just the best.
Love that. Love that. Well, can we do we got to figure out a Glenny Ball at some point.
We could do it for the 25. We got 25 next year.
Can we call it maybe tonight's a Glenny Ball? Take it down to Old Town?
I would love that.
Dude.
Glenny Ball.
Tonight's
Old
the
Town.
Glenny Ball?
I think tonight could be the Glenny Ball.
Do you have a shirt I can borrow?
What? Yeah, of course. It's actually you're good. It's dried.
I'm good. All right,
It's dried completely.
Yeah, no, that would be a thrill if we just did a Glenny Ball.
Glenny Balls is one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah, he's the shit.
Caleb, you're my favorite person in the world.
That's what we're doing. I think we do a Glenny Ball tonight in Old Town.
That's what I've often told Caleb. There's 2 people I'd bury a body for in my life, and that's Caleb Pressley and Dave Portnoy. So
that's tight.
Thank you for giving me a life, Caleb.
This is a big fucking love fest in here, man. Well,
Man.
it's good to see Frank's dad made it out. I haven't seen him in like 8 years. Wow. So I think we go into tonight aiming for Glenny Ball. If it falls short, it falls short.
Yeah.
But I think we go into it.
Well, Balls is very, I mean, I know more about him than you guys. He's very, I know what he likes, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll set that up.
Ah, let's set it up.
I know what you
said he
like.
knows
That's
what
not
he
true?
likes. He's coming back.
I'm not trying to spread rumors about you.
It's not like you're cracking the Da Vinci Code.
I know what you like.
There's not many things I don't want. There's not many things
I know
like.
he likes Sundays.
I like drinking and I like fucking hanging out. That's all I like.
And what else?
Nothing really.
You're at the right house if you like drinking and hanging out.
That's it. I'm a simple man.
When Caleb sat down, he's like, "What do you guys do here? What goes on here? What do you guys do in this house?" A lot of drinking, a lot of hanging out.
I love you guys, man.
I love you. Hey,
I just like what you guys stand for, and it's like sometimes there's some sheep and there's some cowarded people. You guys stand for what's right, and that's being with your boys.
that's tight.
And that's drinking some beers when it's time.
Yeah.
And then being serious when it's time.
Yeah.
And that's what I stand for as well.
It's a balance. I think we do pretty well. And it's something we try to continue, but at the same time, like there's times where it's not very balanced, and then there's times where it leans the other way, you know? But I will say I'm most proud of staying with the dogs and keeping our head down. And
Do you want to finish with this?
Yes, please.
Can I ask myself a question?
Yes. The first person to ever do that on this podcast.
What is your life goal? Keep in mind I asked that to myself.
You want to answer it?
Yeah, okay. So I want to live for my whole life. And this is when I have married, kids, everything. I want to live in a cul-de-sac with my boys. A huge
tight.
cul-de-sac. We all got our own thing, own house, own pool, whatever. But I want to live in a cul-de-sac with my boys. That's my only goal in life. I used to have 2 goals. One of them was to live in an RV and travel SEC football.
You did it.
I did that. My other goal is to live in a cul-de-sac with my boys, and that's all I stand for.
Honestly,
The sack with the boys.
maybe we come up. Yeah, maybe that's maybe we're the cul-de-sac boys from here on out, and we just try to figure it out.
If you want to get involved, just you know my number.
I would love to, because
Okay.
honestly, I've never heard it said like that. And when you asked me, I thought I had to answer it. I didn't really have a great answer. I think mine was a little more introspective than that, but on paper, that's something tangible, and that's something real we could reach for.
Done.
I'm really proud of you, and I'm happy to be in your company. And I got Dana here, and I got you here. We're gonna kick your ass in beer pong, and then we'll take it out to Old Town tonight. But
The Glenny Ball.
it's the Glenny Ball. This is episode 69. Couldn't have had it with a better group. Give it up for the Barstool guys.
Yes, sir.
I love you.
Thanks, brother.